Live?
Yay.
Should be live now.
Again with the burp as soon as you say live.
Yeah, that's your trigger word. Okay. I still need to finish show notes. Need to retweet this business.
How is it that 16 sets of command strips is more expensive than 24 sets?
That's a great question.
What's a command strip?
You know those commercials with MC Hammer where he's like pulling that thing off the wall? Like the hangy hook, where you pull the thing out of the bottom and the hook just comes off the wall? They've been around for like a decade.
It's white, it's got basically, it's Velcro on one side, Velcro on the other, two white sticky bits on the other sides.
That's called like, I thought it was just a Velcro.
No, it's not Velcro, it's like a sticky gel on the inside, and if you hold the hook and you pull the gel out of the bottom, it just comes off of the wall without leaving a mark.
Oh.
But for the baffling, it's really good because the gel, not the gel, but the other part fastens onto the baffling really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Hey there, Duffman and Dimebag.
Are you kidding me? 12 sets is the same price as fucking 24 sets? I'm getting a 24 set because it's the same goddamn price.
I mean, even if you don't need them all, why not?
My wife will find a use. Trust me, the amount of pictures and posters and stuff like that we purchased over the past, 8 months. We've got a Princess Leia picture framed on the wall now as well.
Nice.
Some people don't like that poster for the new movie, but I fucking love it.
Oh, that's a cool poster.
I also got her a poster of every single Bob's Burger of the day on a Bob's Burger blackboard. So she hung that up in the kitchen.
Did you guys see the first episode of this new season, the one that was drawn by all those peeps?
She did, yeah. I didn't.
That was really good. I thought that would be annoying.
It's been really divisive so far. Some people love it, some people hate it.
I really liked, there are a bunch of scenes where like Bob is in the kitchen looking through the service window, and like in the kitchen is one style and out in the serving area is another style. Like, I thought that was super cool.
Although, thank you for the thinking of it. Shall we talk about the elephant in the room, which is the people don't like Boston for not liking something, so let's not like Moon as well.
Are you getting hate by association here?
No, but I will do as soon as I announce this. I really don't like Rick and Morty.
Wow.
Yeah, talk about a divisive show.
For the record, over the past 2 days, I've watched the entirety of season 1, and I'm halfway through season 2. I have laughed out loud 3 times.
Yeah.
Wow, I find that shocking.
To be honest, it's one of those things. Like I fucking love Supernatural so much. Like, you can tell me till you're blue in the face that Supernatural is a bad show, and it is. I will never not love it.
Yeah.
I've been watching that Dan Harmon's the D&D show he's done. That's pretty fun.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think it's called Harmon Quest.
Oh, okay, I've heard that. I didn't know what that was. That's kind of fun.
It's pretty clever. It's a lot like man, what's that one show where they're like like the Ricky Gervais show where they're just kind of animating what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it's D&D.
Yeah. I'm surprised at how well like D&D podcasts and live streams and all that stuff does on the internet.
Me too.
I didn't think that would be a thing that people would want to watch, but
thanks, Dan.
It makes a lot of sense, I guess, if you have a good DM and you have a crew that is sticking to their story and is trying to have fun with it and sort of be legitimate with it. I could see that being pretty fun.
Well, it's like the two that I know of big right now are Heroes and Halfwits, and is it the C Team, which is the Penny Arcade one?
Penny Arcade one.
The Hero and Halfwits one is Rooster Teeth's one,
Oh, okay.
which always made me laugh because Griffin is in it. One of that's
Griffin
Jeff's
McElroy?
wife. No,
Oh.
Griffin Ramsey, Jeff's wife.
Oh, okay.
But she was at the start of it. She was in and out of it. So to actually to maintain her character, they gave her character short-term amnesia, where she couldn't remember anything she'd done the session before. So if Griffin was there 3 shows in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and then had to miss the fourth one because she was off doing her own thing, somebody else would come in and play the character and then be forgetting everything that Griffin's done, so would act completely differently.
That's clever. I've never heard of that one. The one I always think of is C-Team and I think it's Friends at the Table is the one I always hear about. I think it's Waypoints.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I only know Heroes and Halfwits because, like, as much as I'm so far behind on their content, but I've always loved the Rooster Teeth guys.
Yeah.
Minus Gavin Free. I cannot stand that guy so much. And I'm sure there'll be people out there who hate me for saying that, but
I mean, every company has to have its
Pariah?
Dan from Giant Bomb.
Mm-hmm. You either love them or you hate them.
Yeah. Nubs, what did you just send?
Oh, the link to season 2, episode 1. That's the one I watched. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, the Harmon thing, the
okay.
D&D thing.
Yeah, Harmon Quest, season 2.
Okay.
What else can I buy from Amazon?
Their DM is great. That guy is funny.
Oh, that's something Rooster Teeth did as well. They got a guy who's actually works for the D&D company. He's one of those people who goes around and does specific DMing groups.
Oh, nice.
Like, he gets paid by D&D to go out and do it.
Go do the new manual.
Yes. Which everybody hates. Always, every time, without fail.
Yeah. It's new, I hate it.
Yep. And hey, Coach Jamal.
Hey, Coach Jamal.
I am surprised I pronounced that correctly, if I'm completely honest. Okay, I'm not going to order candy on Amazon.
Yeah, but what if you ordered candy?
I literally went out and spent $50 on candy today.
Yeah, but what if you got more?
What, trick-or-treat candy?
That's what it's supposed to be for.
The original purpose?
Yes. That's what its purpose is meant to be. It will not be the purpose it gets used for. It will get used for, fuck it, I want candy.
Yeah. Oh, there's candy in the house.
Oh, have some self-control, fellas.
Yeah. This is why I don't have candy or soda in the house generally, because otherwise things like this happen, where I just sit here and drink all of my soda, and I just realised how appropriate of a glass.
Nice.
I'm all Doctor Who today. What was the, fuck, I forgot, god damn it, I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Woobity doobity dub dub dub, whatever he says.
Oh, wubba lubba dub dub.
There you go. Although I'm not gonna
drag that stupid shit into the show.
You know what that makes me think of? That makes me think of Rhythm Heaven for the Wii, specifically the wrestler section.
Oh, I never played the Wii one.
It's really, really good, but there's a section where they're doing an interview with luchador wrestlers, and the buttons you press are basically them shooting their promos.
That's cool.
And one of the things he says is that.
Oh.
But he says that, and then the woman goes, "Yeah, that's right." It's so good.
I think I have. Oh, I wanted to look this up. Let me make sure I got the right info here.
That's right.
Then we'll get started. here.
Earthworm Jim did have a cartoon.
Yeah, that was a weird cartoon.
Aren't all cartoons based on video games kind of weird?
This one was more accurate than a lot of the other ones were at the time.
Hold on, is that what I think it is? It is.
You can get Herculoids on DVD. Or Galtar.
This is the key to dating somebody from Liverpool.
Way forward.
You have to get them a book explaining your accent.
Blood rings. Boy and his blob. Subway.
Oh boy.
Okay. Are you guys ready to kick this thing off?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Let me get rid of the pre-show thing here. Actually, bring that forward. There we go. Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Knobs.
What's up?
And Moonpeer.
Hello.
A couple of announcements here at the beginning. First off, our next Game Club game has been announced, and it is This Is the Police. So you have 4 weeks to knock that bad boy out. It is available on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and it's on sale on PC for half off right now. If you're
I still have no idea what that game is, so...
I'm playing it, and I still don't either. So
Yeah, it's a choose-your-own adventure, basically.
Sort of. Well,
Yes.
we'll get into it. And secondly, and most importantly, this episode is TVGP's 10th anniversary episode.
Oh, wow.
So we have been doing this dumb show now for 10 years, which is shocking.
I thought we did it... Was it 520?
No, October 26th, 2007.
Oh, so you take leap years into account, it probably works out, yeah.
Hey man, I don't know, I just work here.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the really scary thing is when I realized that I've been probably a member of the community for 7 of those.
Yeah.
That's really terrifying.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to this dumb show and joining our wonderful and not dumb community. And here's for 10 more years, I guess.
Come on, it's kind of dumb.
500 more episodes. You know, that episode 1000, we cut it. You know,
Yep.
as I've always promised. All right, let's just dive into it. Knobs, what have you been playing this past week?
Alrighty. Well, the last few Monday nights have been pretty chill, where we played the golf club and sit there and kind of yell at each other about how bad we are at golf.
Sounds like golf.
Yep.
Yeah, this last week's tournament actually had active handicaps in for the first time, and wow, that make a difference for some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did. I should have checked it before I signed on, but actually, who was winning? Last time I checked, it was Tom's. He was on top with a +7.
Hey, nice.
For the tournament. I was consistent, 24 over.
All right.
That one extra stroke that added to my score every round did not help me much.
Add it up quick.
On top of that, I had 2 horrendous rounds. Every other round was bad for me on that go.
And this is something I talked about with Knobs yesterday about just after we did the Game Club recording. I decided, because I like punishment and things like that, let's use the tour clubs, aka the clubs that if you even twitch slightly to the side, you will send that ball skewering to that direction.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I came dead last. A Duff man beat me, which tells you everything you need to know. No offense, Duff.
Oh, take it easy on Duff. He's a trooper.
Oh yes, he is. But no, the wind killed me in that one, if I'm completely honest, because I made him. If I wasn't in that red line, that wind took that ball and then just ran with it.
Yeah, and that was that one round, or actually I was playing it for like a week, and then think of the time when I was playing you and Jess a lot, like that first week, and I was like, man, I didn't understand why I was playing so bad after playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I jumped from the regular clubs to the tour clubs and totally skipped the regular or the player clubs. I had no idea what a difference that was going to make.
Are the tour clubs the hardest ones in the game?
Yes.
Okay. Thankfully.
And, well, I mean, it has a trade-off. I mean, you hit the ball significantly farther with those clubs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like the base drive for the starter clubs is like 240 yards. The base drive for the tour clubs is 279.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's huge.
So, yeah, you're carrying about an extra 30 yards. But if it goes straight.
Right.
Yes. Which is the hardest part.
And if your tempo is perfect.
Yes.
So there is a lot to account for.
But I mean, it sounds like it's the more you keep graduating through that game, the more it sticks to its guns about rewarding you for good play and learning how to play. It's just another facet of you need to make sure you have your tempo down, you need to make sure you have your swing down, and you will get rewarded, but if not, we're going to punish you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's been times when on par fives I did a single player career on like an easy course with my tour clubs, and I eagled 2 par fives because I was literally hitting it onto the green with my second stroke and nailing it close to the pin, and then it was a real easy putt.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and especially with those other courses, the other things that was holding you back on this last course was not only was the wind a factor, but the greens were hard and fast.
Yes.
So it was literally, if your line wasn't correct, your putt had no chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like you're putting on ice.
Yes. It was like I played because I usually play after everybody else. I tend to turn the ghosts on to see how everybody else does, and it's hilarious watching me, Nobs, and Scott all just go poop past the hole, poop past the hole, poop past the hole, poop past the hole.
Well, I mean, I played this weekend and I 4-putted 2 holes because the greens were lightning fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that takes probably 3 or 4 holes to get used to.
Yeah.
You know, and that's also the thing, like being an amateur golfer or even playing golf in the game is you're not there an hour early hitting 100 golf balls before you take your first swing. So you come right out of the car and expecting to golf well it's a fallacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the game have any driving range or putting green, like practice stuff in it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You can even play a practice round before you even play.
Nice. That's smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was pretty much all I could handle this last week because I was fired up after that second 83.
Yeah.
I mean, because I had the same problem I had before. I did not know what I was doing wrong, and it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the tour clubs are doing to me right now, where it's just like, I know the tempo on that was just the exact same as it was previously. And why are you slow? And why are you now getting taken directly into the bunker because you were slow when I did it exactly the same?
Yeah, it's hard. That game is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should hop on and play tonight. I haven't played it all week because I was kind of bummed on how that turned out. Like, even if I shot the same way, I still would have lost.
Oh,
like,
yeah, because of the handicap?
Yeah, I still would have lost because of the handicap. Because even if I was shooting my best round over and over again, the best I would have done would have been 8 over.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes he still would have got me by a stroke, but it was kind of fun watching how that played out. And I could see on a course where everyone can play their game that it would even the playing field pretty well.
Yeah.
Like what a handicap's supposed to do. But since we're still learning, it's going to be real hard.
Yeah.
The mobile games this week was Marvel Puzzle Quest and the Trailer Park Boys. Marvel Puzzle Quest, I'm pretty much relegated to doing the Deadpool daily just to get covers.
Yeah, I tried was Simulation Round 2, I think it was the new event this week, and I couldn't even make it through the first node where it gave you units, and I was like, okay, this is not the one for me. I'm going to tap out of this one.
Yeah.
But I have been crushing the 4-star whatchamacallit. If I have the characters, I can pretty much get all the Deadpool daily done except for the extreme one because I never have a character that's high enough rank to survive that fight.
Yeah, I still 9 times out of 10 I still don't have one of the characters. I'm now, before on the first 4-star, I would not have 2 characters, and now I usually have 2 out of the 3. So I feel like I'm finally getting closer to being able to have a good stable of characters that I can do the majority of the daily with. I can get through 1 through 3 stars no problem without even blinking at this point, but it's those last 2 that have the really good rewards that I really want.
Well, I mean, that really good reward is not only an extra token, but it's also a command point. So you get a command point and, the taco tokens.
Yeah. Yeah, someday.
But yeah, so
someday I get to do the 4-star.
I actually ran my way out of ISO for the first time, where I got so many covers because I kind of carried it over. Like, I didn't claim them for 3 days. I had like 50 covers to pull.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm upgrading everyone and not getting enough ISO to get everyone up to max level. So
that's a good problem to have. I'm in the same problem where I think I'm sitting on 85,000 right now, and I don't have anyone to upgrade, but I don't have enough hero points to get slots. So
right.
Yep. That's my problem. I'm sitting on 325,000 ISO.
Jeez. We need to get some interest on this stuff. Like, we're just roll it off over into Roth IRA. Like, man.
I'm pretty sure I healed $250,000 this last week.
Yeah.
Just upgrade dudes.
That's cool. That's good though.
But yeah, so been playing that pretty much on the reg. The game club this week, I literally wrapped it up before we started recording, and that was Abzu. Go listen to that. That's a pretty little game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about Middle Earth: Shadow of War.
Did you hit Act 4 yet, aka the grind?
I don't know what that means. I'm not really grinding anything. I'm just literally doing the same thing in every region now.
Mm-hmm.
I get the impression Act 4 is after all that stuff.
Oh,
but
great.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, right now, now that I've got the ability to enslave war chiefs, that's kind of been my game now.
Oh, nice.
Where I'm just playing Middle Earth Batman and just branding fools.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of the fun thing. And I am trying to find the Dinesh Orc because I want him in my crew.
Yeah, you've got to have him following you around.
I mean, I've killed him 3 times and I can't find him now. And it's driving me nuts. But the world opens up. I have 3 out of the 5 areas conquered now.
Like the big overworld zones?
The big overworld. Yeah, I've been crushing it.
We were actually talking about the zones, I think it was before we recorded Game Club yesterday, and I was saying that the map originally looks a little bit deceiving because it looks huge, but the whole thing isn't explorable. It's just these areas around these strongholds people originally were like, oh, well, that's sort of a bummer. It's like, yeah, but what are you going to put in this giant area? Like, you're filling this content around this stronghold, which is really just the thing you want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to make the fuel mistake where making these people drive for 3 hours,
right,
like on horseback to get from one side to the other side of the map. Like,
yeah,
that's a good idea in theory, but you need to condense it to move around.
Yeah.
I give you Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and fast travel works great. Like, I just kind of wait till a bunch of stuff's all grouped up by a fast travel point that I'll go over there and clear that area out, get all my stuffs, and move on. I think the loot system's really good in this game. Each piece of loot that you get that's above a common has a challenge associated with it. Once you get the challenge and you use your Miriam whatever mithril coins to unlock the additional perk for that weapon, and some of them are really great. Like the rare has one challenge that has a perk, and then actually everything has pretty much one challenge to unlock the perks. But But only the rare ones have like set bonuses too. There's one at 2 and there's another one at 4, and each is a part of 6 for the set.
What are some of the challenges like? I haven't really heard details on those.
Oh, it's execute a dazed war chief, which is harder than you'd think, or kill 3 people while they're on fire or while they're poisoned.
Okay. Kind of fun stuff that you maybe normally wouldn't do, or like you do by accident.
It's kind of stuff you do on the regular anyway, because there's so much chaos that happens in this game. Like, I couldn't tell you how many times where I've been in a battle with 4 war chiefs.
Wow.
Where I'll have, like, there'll be a battle, because I'll set up a battle. Like, I'll say, no, you go attack this guy. Well, the guy I sent to go gets ambushed, and then I jump in, and then I get ambushed. And then it's a melee from there on out, because then they start blowing their horns, they're putting their amp flags down, and everyone's all fired up, and it gets fast and loose. The only part of the combat like I haven't liked is you have kind of a crowd clearing glaive attack, which is a giant pole swordy thing that takes way too long to charge and release. Oh, because you sit there, you plant yourself for what seems like an eternity, and everyone's coming at you. It's like, all right, can I let it go now? And then by the time you get to the point where you let it go, you get hit, and you're like, this is frustrating.
With all the chaos in those giant battles, does the engine hitch at any point? Like, does it ever get to the point where it gets pretty framey?
It doesn't hitch on the performance side. It's more like the execution side, because sometimes like your camera, like you're in a sea of people. You almost get like a total war kind of madness going on.
Dynasty Warriors thing.
Right, where it's man, where is my character? Like, and you're like there you are beating a tree off to the side. You're like, all right. But yeah, so a lot of the stuff, like some of the AI has been really cool too. Like some of the war chiefs, if you keep repeating the same move over and over again, like you're spamming it, but you're not killing them, there's a chance he'll adapt his tactics, and then that becomes stale, and you just can't. He'll guard against it.
Oh, cool.
Because there was one guy where I did not want to deal with this dude at all, so I just kept pinning him into the ground, and then going fighting off his horde. He come loose and pin him back into the ground again.
It's like doing fighting Goro and just doing the high kicks all day.
Yeah, like it's literally just kind of like, you know what? Screw this. Now now he's arrow proof. You're like, all right, come on, level 39, dude. Let's have at it.
The other thing I saw from that game that I thought was pretty cool was when you take over one of those strongholds or whatever they're called, and you put a war chief in charge of it, the look of the area changes depending on the clan that you put in charge. I think that's like, some of them are like all wood and blood and paint, and some of them are like these white and gold opulent. I think that's pretty cool.
That's more region specific. So you have the feral orcs that are in, I think, the second area you go to, where it's kind of more like woodland, where you fight the creepy whatever woodland queen at some point that talks really weird. And then you're like, the area it's all the opulent gold and marble look is the next area, which is in the snow area, right? Which was really, really cool. Yeah. Like, I really like banging around that world, especially as a lot of sheer cliffs that you had to scale and find caves in the middle to find your collectibles.
Oh, cool.
Which was really, man, it was way more difficult. It's like, oh, cool, I can scale this glacier coming up this side of this mountain, and I get into this cave now. Like, all right, awesome.
I bounced off the first one pretty hard, but the more I hear you talking about this game, the more that I'm getting interested in it at this point.
Well, here's what. All right, so with the first game, when you're branding, it was almost automatic. You can brand anyone at any time. Yeah. Now, some of the war chiefs, especially if the dude has rolled you a few times, you can't. He just, like, his iron will pop up. It's like, yeah, no, this is not happening.
Shrugging you off.
So you have your choice. You can either continue to fight him to death, or you can shame him, where you put a double brand on his face.
Oh, okay.
And then he becomes deranged. And then whenever you come across him, he's just a mumbling buffoon.
Just like a gibbering mess.
There was one time where that dude got one of the guys I shamed because they wouldn't let me do this. I shamed and kicked him free, and then one of the other missions was one of the intersection between war chiefs, and that guy was going to be executed, and the guy's like humana 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 humana, and the guy goes, "Well said." You're last. And then he goes and starts murdering them all down the line. Then I hop in, and then I brand that dude, and then kick this guy, humiliate him again.
Oh, man.
So,
do you feel like the combat is harder? Because I know that was a big criticism of the first game, and I never really ran into it, was that it was sort of hard to die, so you didn't see everything out of the Nemesis system. Do you feel like this one's more difficult?
I didn't think of... Man, I died a lot in that first game.
Okay. Me too. Me too a lot.
Yeah.
If you're not controlling the battle scenario you're in, it gets out of hand real quick.
Okay.
Because there's, I will do everything I can to segregate or separate the war chief away from all the people following him. But sometimes the guy just keeps spawning dudes. Luckily, I made this dude my bodyguard. He was a Beastmaster. And once I did him, because he was pulling ghouls out of the ground. And the only thing in this game that has consist me are the greater ghouls. They have killed me every time I've tried to fight them.
Huh.
To the point, Rancor shows up, yeah, I'll take you out. Dragon, yeah, I'm plucking you out of the sky, kiddo. But this ghoul that's about the size of a regular orc just wrecks me every time. I can't figure out how to fight him.
That's weird.
Because you can't vault them to freeze them, and you can't pin them into the ground because they're too quick and wily, even with the elf time. They're just a handful because you don't fight just one of them. You have 9 of the little minion ghouls, and then you have the greater ghouls, and those are a pack of 3.
Right.
So, man, I'm really enjoying this game, and So there's a great callback to Shadow of Mordor, and that I did not see coming at all. When you take your first castle or your first stronghold, I don't want to spoil it, but man, it's great.
Yeah,
it really is great. If you enjoyed that first game,
yeah,
because it's a character that I did not expect to ever see again.
Nice.
And also the first orc or the first war chief that you brand might be the most likable thing in this game by far.
Really?
Oh yeah, because Celebrimbor is just a giant elf D. He has nothing nice to say about anything, and everything you say or you comment on, he has some passive aggressive response right back to it, and you're just like, dude.
Come on, man.
Was that necessary? It's now you're insulting our bowls. Was that really necessary? Because you find these Gondorian artifacts, and then you have to, that'd be really cool to see that. I mean, that's a really nice looking bowl. It's nothing compared to what the elves have made. I was like
oh yeah, so he's an elf.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like a class warfare. It is. Interior class warfare. It's in your head. You can't even yell at them and not look like a lunatic.
Right. That's how you scare off the orcs. Just talk to yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as just, I mean, I've been just murdering my way across Mordor, unbelievable. So I have I've cleared out the. I'm trying to think what else did I do, and I'm working my way back on Minas Tirith this time. Now, because the Wraiths are in charge, so yeah, I cannot wait to fight these bastards again.
Yeah.
The unkillable ghosts.
That's my rap name.
So, that's gonna be horrendous. But there's so many little touches in this game that, I mean, all these guys, like all the orcs, the amount of voice work that went into this game was completely unnecessary and equally amazing.
Yeah. I've seen so much stuff online of people talking about this game, and then people trading stories about oh, did you meet this orc who X, Y, and Z? It's like, no, but I met this one that did this other thing. It's like, and they're all voice acted, and it's not just I'm an orc, hey, but they have like 4 or 5 lines for some of them.
Oh yeah, like again, like last week when I was talking, like I ran into like three more like war chiefs that have hype men.
Yeah,
like that are just sitting there. This is just a regular old orc just in there, like sporting the guy up for this.
That's cool.
But yeah, like even attacking the greater, like the war generals that are on like the top of the castle, then you have the commander of the whole castle. So even just maneuvering people within the nemesis system to make them this other guy's get out of the trash. All right. So you're positioning like 2 bodyguards to this one war chief, and then you'll ambush him, and then those guys will pop up behind him and stab him in the back and like get half his health down before you even have to throw a punch.
Oh, cool. So you're playing like mob rules, where it's like I've got my guys on the inside, and we're gonna jump him.
Oh yeah, as soon as you
cool.
as soon as you can command them to either go attack someone, you can send them to retreat, you can keep them there for battle, like until like everyone's dead. And plus you can, if they get damaged, you can pick them up.
Oh, cool.
Like if they're bleeding out, you just go over, hold B. They're back up into the fight with full health. They are they're all really, really fun.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. Oh, man, someone just look wild. Like just
yeah.
Like I don't know why. I mean, what's with the right sides of their bodies? Like those are the only sides that have like the giant goiters and pus bags and stuff. They're always on the right side of their body. Like, did anyone pay any attention to the left?
Yeah.
It's one of the things I loved about the first game was how much the game was essentially your story, because the Nemesis system, like, it's such a thing of beauty because it allows the people to develop based on your past interactions with them. Like when you kill somebody with like fire and they come back the next time, they literally have a bunch of burn marks.
Yeah.
And they reference that. Like all of that thing helps it become your story. And this is a game which is way up there on my list of things I want to play, but things that also make me nervous about playing because I know I will fall in hard.
Yeah.
And, you know,
well, that's the plus and the
really
minus of this game. It seems like there's so much content, and almost all of it is really good, but then at the same time, it's like, well, how deep am I going to go?
Well, and that's also part of the thing is, like, it's a matter of, like, even outfitting the gear and, like, right now, like, if there's an area that has at least 2 to 3 of the white arrows on it, then I know they're carrying either money or gems. I am just going after the gems. That's all I care about right now.
What are those?
Like will. So they're like perks you put onto the armor. So each piece of equipment you have has a gem slot.
Oh, okay.
So you have like a raw gem, a polished gem, crafted gem.
So it's a lot like the Diablo gem system, where it's like I'm going to take a gem and slot it, and it gives me a small boost.
Correct.
Yeah.
And, you know, like white gems give you more XP, green gems give you more health or health stealing,
Ooh.
and red gems are pretty much all damage based. So you have those 3 gems, but you have 2, 3, 4, 5. You can upgrade them 5 times, and it's like 3 gems can make this gem, and 3 of those gems can make this gem, 3 gems can make those gems. So it's a long trail. I think I have 2 perfect gems right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a white one and a red one. So,
man, the more systems you keep telling me about, it's sort of like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. That's a good addition. All right, yeah.
well,
Because
yeah.
it sounds like Diablo 3 to you. That's
Sure.
why.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Well, even with that, like, so with the pre-order bonus stuff, like, I had a whole bunch of rare orcs, and I didn't know how to use.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just figured that out this time, but they're all level 15, and they will help me at nothing at all.
Oh.
So I literally just scrapped all of them for rare gear, close to my power level.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So even that, like, I have so much coin, like, and I don't have enough stuff to spend on it. But what's really great is the siege battles when you're taking the stronghold back.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do all these things, like if you will kill all the war chiefs that are on like the top rung. Like some of them have like fire defenses or mounted defenses, archers, and all this stuff. But every time you knock one of those down that they're in command of, the the level of the stronghold you're attacking goes down.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like the first Crackdown, where it's like, all right, I took out the weapons guy, so now nobody has rocket launchers.
It's a lot like that.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, then you have your side where, depending on your level, is how many, like, you have one guy's for, like, assault, your cavalry, your siege beasts, and another beastmaster. So essentially you have, like, his, and then you spend money to make them outfitted that way. And you literally, it's a total war, like the Total War look, where you have a horde of things behind you. You're sieging the castle, then you're holding command points, and then you hit A, B, C, and D to get in. Then you fight the war chief in his, or the whatever war general in the throne room.
That's cool.
And depending if you have any bodyguard, because I keep forgetting to assign people as bodyguards for me. So when I hit the right on the D-pad to summon a bodyguard, I just get like 6 grunts. I'm like, man, you guys are going to get wrecked.
You guys are just fodder.
Yeah, you guys are just cannon fodder. All right, let's get a Kragor in here, the wolf, ridey wolf thing, and then just hop on that thing and just knock down crowd control for a little bit until he goes down.
Man.
But it's... all this stuff's all meshed together in one game, which it almost sounds like too much stuff going on.
Yeah.
But
yes, it does.
It's really not unmanageable.
Yeah, it sounds like it all works together pretty well. So it's not like 10 different systems that never really intersect. They all sort of... they spend enough time to make sure that all of this stuff matters and all of it works together.
Yep. Yeah, and you want to level up. Even like going through and leveling up your guys. Like you send, like, okay, you go to the fighting pits and go get a couple levels or something, and then you can actually go there and spectate the fight.
Oh, cool!
Like, and watch your dude just wreck people. Like it's a lot of fun.
Man, that sounds really
There's
good.
so much, and I've probably pumped 30, 40 hours into this thing already.
Yeah.
And I probably have another 30 or 40 hours left in it.
Well, it's nice. It's nice because I feel like we haven't had a game that has really bitten us like that for a little bit here.
Since Game of the Year 2017, Prey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, Prey bit me pretty hard. Prey bit all of us pretty hard. But on that note, I mean, the combat's still fun. I mean, it's still Batman combat.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can be a little frustrating when there's way too many dudes. And again, that's your fault for jumping into a hornet's nest.
Right.
I do like the things in the environment, like there are spider eggs on the walls, there's ghoul eggs to get those things to come out of the ground. There's like chunks of meat to get the wolves to come in, or there's like a slab of beef or some beast up there that'll bring the rancor out. And if there's a they're skinning one of the dragons or the drakes in this game, you shoot that thing, dragon's coming in, and that thing just is the most indiscriminate attacking thing I have ever come across in a game.
It's just gonna kill stuff.
Like, I was sitting on top of one of the Borgia towers, and I'm sitting up there, and I'm just kind of hanging out, just surveying the area, and I'm like, what is that? And it's like, it's coming right at, oh my god, it's a dragon. Oh, what? And I'm literally running away from this thing, and this thing is killing everything in its path, trying to get at me.
That's cool.
I haven't figured out how to break. Well, I can break it. I just don't know how to mount it from there.
Right.
I'm imagining not imagining, but I'm assuming that I have to upgrade my shadow mount skill so I can just shoot an arrow and get up there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because he never gets close enough to the ground. But even riding the Rancor around's a blast.
Yeah.
Like I hit one of those giant slabs of meat, and that thing will come in and start stirring it up, and I'll let all the orcs wear it down, and then I'll just hop on it, and then it gets full health, and there I am just monkey slamming everything.
Man.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It really is. There's a ton of different ways. It's not all stealth, but the stealth is a lot of fun. But when it needs to be a brawler, that game's a brawler.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the things I loved about the first one. Like, it was a good stealth game, but it was a good enough combat game where when things went south, you could still maintain control over the situation.
It's still brutal. The executions and, the way you dice some of these guys up, it's still rough to look at times. I had time to catch that guy. You go all the way through him. You catch his arm on the way out, and it just floats away. You're like, oh, that's awesome.
Oh god.
But yeah, it's a good game. I think you guys should. I think everyone should play it.
Yeah. Anything else to play this week?
Not that I can remember. So no.
All right, Moon Pier.
Okay, so it's been a bit of a Neo Geo blur for me.
Okay.
I feel like I've played every single Neo Geo game that's come to the Xbox right now. I haven't, but I feel like I have. So really quick before we talk about the other things, let's blow through that really quick. Last Resort. I can't even remember what this game was. I've written down the name of it, but I can't remember what it was. Actually, I can. Yes, it's a sci-fi space vertical scrolling shmup. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Aero Fighters 2, if you want your vertical shmup, use that one instead. Burning Fight, it's Streets of Rage, but terrible. Don't play that.
That's a back of the box quote if I've ever seen one.
Magician's Lord, which
Magician's Lord.
My wife was telling me she played this. I'm assuming she didn't play it on the Neo Geo.
Yeah.
2D side-scrolling action adventure game.
She might have played it in the arcade Neo Geo. That was pretty popular for a long time in the arcade version of the Neo Geo, which I guess is also the home version. I think they're just the same console.
Yes, it is.
Just one comes with a cabinet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And one doesn't. That's not a bad game. I was actually surprised about how much I'm enjoying that, minus the fact that I have one achievement left in it, which is the score of 150,000, and I died today with 149,260. So, frustration abound.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Yep. King of Monsters. Now, this is really weird.
King of Monsters, yeah.
So, when I first loaded this up,
isn't it just Rampage, kind of?
That's what I was expecting. It's not. It's a wrestling game.
Yeah, it's an isometric.
Oh, yes,
but like they're in the
that.
city, right?
Yeah.
You're knocking down
in
buildings.
the city.
Yeah.
The ring ropes are electrified barriers.
Yeah, that's a
there
cool
are
game.
buildings. It's really, really fun. Impossible to control on my first few attempts at it. So that's one that I'm going to have to... Yeah, I'm going to have to sit down and probably get used to that one a little bit. But I was kind of smiling a stupid grin on my face because I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll pick up WWE 2K18. I'm thinking about it. Wait, never mind. I've got King of Monsters, a professional wrestling game about Godzilla.
Boy, early reviews of WWE 2K18 have not been kind.
But the problem is they haven't been kind for 10 years.
Well, it's because they haven't been good for 10 years.
It's because they haven't changed anything in 10 years.
That's true.
But the last time I... Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was going to say, I saw a video of someone getting leg locked by a couch.
That's a great video that's been everywhere. That's John Cena's greatest enemy is the couch.
Yep. But the problem with those games is professional wrestling games haven't really changed since the SmackDown series on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And I was a huge fan of the Def Jam games. Because they took I believe it's the Aoki, or however you say their name, the Japanese developers of the wrestling games that give you the
Ultimate Muscle games?
Yes, those type of games. Like, they were... The way they included so much more that at the time, I believe it was Ukes, didn't.
Yeah.
But the ones we've got these days are just evolutions from that same path. They have not changed anywhere near enough. But if you haven't played one in 10 years, does that really matter?
Right.
To me personally. You know, I literally haven't played one on the 360. I think the last wrestling game I played on the 360 was actually TNA's wrestling game.
Oh, wow.
Which came out real early in that life cycle.
Yeah. That was real bullet witch early.
Yep. So, who needs 2K18 when you've got King of Monsters?
Yeah.
So, I also, like we said, we played Abzu. I played Minecraft Story Mode.
Okay. I heard that's not bad. Is this season 1?
It's... yeah, I'm playing season 1. We do also have the DLC for it, which takes it to like 8 episodes now.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
It's even worse when one of the episodes is I think after 5, I think 6, 7, and 8 are all standalones. Like they're all individual stories. One of them involves a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh, that hurts.
Who are in a murder mystery plot.
Well, that's a little better. I could get behind that.
And they get killed one by one.
All right, you're selling me. Let's do this.
Well, this, I don't know if it's because it's the most recently updated version, but this version of the Telltale engine runs smooth as silk for me. Very little issues.
Really?
None of the usual hitching.
Who'd have thought they all they needed was voxels?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's easy to be snarky about Minecraft and be like, "Oh, well, it's not really pushing the engine very hard. It's voxels." But are they doing anything to that engine to push the Minecraft stuff hard, or is it because when you look at like Telltale Batman, there's sort of a lot going on in that game. There's a lot of lighting. There's a ton of stuff, and it chugs. But it seems to me like the Minecraft story mode, by nature of it being Minecraft, might be simpler.
100% it is simpler.
Okay.
Like pretty much the biggest difference you have from this and base Minecraft is the people are animated.
Okay. Instead of just like walking.
Yeah, it's not robot. It's not robot walk. It's not wave like this. They are animated smoothly and fluently. So are the mobs, like the monsters and stuff like that. But other than that, like it's animated really well. Like the people, they've put a lot of facial expressions in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of voices in it I recognize, but not in a voice actor way. More in a I'm pretty sure this guy was an actor at some point.
Like
kind
is
of
that
way.
Zach Galifianakis? Like this is somebody famous here.
Yes. But I mean, it's so far from what I've seen, it actually seems to be a really, really good Telltale game for kids.
Yeah.
The story so far has been these 5 friends completed a really good mission because they had the power of friendship.
Naturally.
Then they all had a falling out. Now you, much later, have to find them all.
Now I was getting comfy over there.
Yeah. Now you have to find them all and reunite these people to help you in this modern day quest.
So
and
it's Destiny 2.
Yes. It's Destiny 2, but without the world-ending stuff and more just... Well, it actually kind of does has a world-ending
just
story.
hop to another server.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, it's been really, really good so far. Surprisingly enough, runs pretty nice, and the story's basic, but what did you expect? It's Minecraft story mode.
Yeah.
My last game, because I couldn't help it, it was on sale for like $8. Thank you, Maximus Prime, for mentioning it in the Discord chat, I believe it was. I picked up Lego Marvel's Avengers.
Oh, that's a good game.
Because it's been a long time since I played a Lego game, and I'm a sucker for a good Lego game.
And they're easy to get 1,000 score on.
Well, easy but time consuming. I'm not looking for time consuming right now. I'm looking for easy. But I felt like a change, and I felt like Lego was a good way to go. And I think the last one I played was the Hobbit ones, which did the same trick this one does, where it's let's just cut sections of audio from the movie and insert them. That's
my least favorite stuff they do.
Yes. I can understand why they do it, because it saves a lot of time, it saves a lot of issues. But at the same time, do like the Batman one does and tell an original story. Because Lego Batman 1, I think, was fantastic when Superman bumps into the Green Lantern and they have this big fake friendship thing where Superman's trying to be a nice guy and tell him to go away. Before Lego movie, before the Lego Batman movie, before any of that, it was in the first Lego Batman game.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's fun. It's a Lego game. I know what I'm doing. I smash everything that's on the screen, and then I eventually find what I need to build to move on.
Yeah.
And as much as it's one of my favorite things about the Lego games is the references they put into the achievements.
Yeah.
Because I think it was the Lego Marvel Superheroes, which was the first one for the next gen that came out.
That's still my favorite one.
I really did like that one. But if you had two controllers and you put controller 1 as Captain America and controller 2 as the Human Torch, you unlock the achievement called "Hey, Don't I Know You?" because they're both played by Chris Evans.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The first one I noticed on this is if you are Agent Phil Coulson and you die and then come back to life, you get an achievement called it's a paradise, I think it's called.
Oh, it's a magical place.
That's the one.
Oh, nice.
You get that achievement, which is an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reference.
That's the stuff I like that they do.
But that is all I've been playing. I will update you more on Lego Marvel's Avengers, and I also have The Force Awakens to go with it too. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Force Awakens is probably my least favorite one. Not because it's bad. There's just not a lot there, and them leaning on episodes 4, 5, and 6 again is sort of like, yeah.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, a little too much.
I was very surprised with this because it jumps in and the opening mission in it is the start of Avengers 2, where they're storming the castle where the twins are. The next mission is Loki's appearance at the start of Avengers 1. The third mission was Captain America fighting the Red Skull.
Oh,
so it seems to be doing this weird story thing where it started there and then it's backflashing or flashbacking to
Backflashing.
Yeah, backflashing to previous
It's
missions.
a new thing, kids. Backflashing.
Yes. To, the previous movies to give you backstory on the characters because they didn't do this Lego game for the previous movies. For any of the Marvel stuff, they didn't do a game like they did with the DC stuff.
Right.
So
sorry, I should probably turn off my Apple filter.
You're ascending over there.
Yep.
Aww.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing. Go ahead, Boston.
I know I won't survive the leftovers, so
yeah,
I'll still be here when it stops.
Yeah. I finished my first playthrough of Battle Chasers Nightwar. I completed all the trophies except for the two. One which is Start New Game Plus, which I've done, and the other one is Finish New Game Plus. So I got absolutely everything in that game in my first playthrough. It took me probably, my pause time says 40 hours, but like that's me leaving it running at some points because I have to go do something, so it's probably like 30-35 hours to do all that. So it's a nice, the length reminded me a lot of Chrono Trigger, where if you want to do a whole bunch, you can. If you don't want to and you just want to go through the game now that they've patched the difficulty, you can kind of blow through that in about 20 hours. And you'll see the majority of what the game has. It's not something like you're sitting down with Persona 5 and it's like, all right, here's my next 80 hours. Let's tuck in on this one.
Yep.
I really liked the end of that game. It was much easier now that they patched it. I thought the final boss was pretty good, but unfortunately a little anticlimactic because I gathered everybody's ultimate weapons, which basically upgrading your characters from the best weapon before that to the ultimate weapon doubles their attack power. So you're going from like 1800 to 3700. Wasn't a super challenge.
No.
But it
wasn't Ruby weapon.
Yeah, like it's sort of in a rewarding way where it's like I did all this content to gather all the materials to make these weapons. So if I'm this powerful, I should be able to kind of walk through the end of the game. So I started New Game Plus, and it's sort of interesting because in most RPGs, when you fire up New Game Plus, like you keep your levels and your weapons and all your stuff. With this, it blows out all of that stuff. You keep your bestiary, which includes your beast perks. Those are the ones you get by, you kill 100 of the enemies in this area, and you get, 1% more attack power overall. All that stuff comes over, so you start stronger than you did before. Also, your character's skill trees, those carry over as well. And then you start building on those above and beyond that. Other than that, you start with nothing. you start at level 1 and with your starting weapons, and once you get to the first town, you can play with all 6 characters, which in your first playthrough you have to recruit.
Yeah.
It also makes the game way, way harder.
What, New Game Plus?
Yeah. Usually that's the opposite, and I'm kind of digging that it's way harder, because when you start the game on normal, you're level 1 and you're fighting like level 1 slimes, and that's your enemies at the beginning, of course, because it's an RPG. Now they're level 6 and you're still level 1.
Oh, wow.
So like you're usually playing content where the enemies are 3 to 6 levels above you. And it's not impossible, but you can't just keep picking attack, attack, attack and let it happen. Like, you have to use your skills, you have to keep up on your healing, you have to use your burst attacks. So it's pretty cool going back through this. And they, on your first playthrough, when you go into a dungeon, you have an option of 3 difficulties. It's basically green, blue, and purple. And when you finish each one of those, basically you get a loot chest. It's like a reward chest that pops up. You open it, and it gives you gear from that dungeon. It doesn't... What's weird is... oh, let me ban someone real quick. What's weird is it doesn't... loot doesn't drop from the boss, but you get this chest that drops, and then you open the chest, and that gets loot. It's sort of a weird system. But in New Game Plus, they remove the green difficulty dungeon, the easiest one, and you get a choice between blue, purple, or orange. So they give you the mythical difficulty, where, unlike the other ones, some really great orange level equipment can drop throughout the entire dungeon and from the boss. So even at the early stages of the game, you can start getting some stuff that you would be getting at the late game of your regular playthrough.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm flying through it pretty quickly, mostly because I know where I need to go. I know the tricks in the dungeon. I know how to solve the puzzles. So I think I'm about halfway through, and I think I've played 5 to 7 hours, maybe. It's more difficult, but I did a bunch of prep work in my regular playthrough to get myself a bunch of perk points to carry over to the second one, so I'm sort of starting at an advantage.
Yeah.
But I'm still having a lot of fun with it. This will be my last trophy, and I'll have the platinum, and I think by the time I'm finished with it, I'll be ready to be done with it, but not sick of it.
Yeah.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah, that's sort of the sweet spot. So
you can go back to it later when you feel like it and not hate it.
Yeah, and it's short enough that, like, I feel like if you're looking for an RPG to just play, you know, like I do with Chrono Trigger every couple of years, you can hop in there, play for 20 hours, finish it, and kind of move on. Getting the platinum will be probably my second rarest platinum. Right now, my rarest platinum is The Binding of Isaac. Obviously, it has less than 0.01% of people have gotten it.
I wonder why.
Was that?
I wonder why.
Yeah. This one, I think, is 0.1% of people have gotten the platinum so far. So that's, to me, that's an achievement. I would really like to see more people pick this up and play it. Moon and I were talking about Moon's wife's aversion to JRPGs in general. And having played this through once, I think this game enters my recommendations for where do I start with RPGs, and that includes the first Costume Quest.
Costume Quest.
Second one is fine, not nearly as good as the first one, and then Battle Chasers Nightwar. Like, if you want to play games that aren't super hard and they're not crazy mechanics, but they are RPGs, you want to get a taste and see if you like them, both of those games are really, really good.
I would probably say the Stick of Truth.
Yeah, that's what I would say as well.
Stick of Truth is really good, but I think that leverages too much on whether or not you like South Park and whether or not you can put up with that humor.
It's a solid RPG, though.
That's
the weird thing about it. And I hear the second one is probably better.
Yeah, definitely a lot deeper. I started This Is the Police. I think I've played an hour into it. I don't really want to spoil a lot because I feel like the more blind you can go into that game, the better.
Yep.
I do have to say, the way they tutorialize that game is really good because at the point I'm at now, I can use 7 buttons on the main menu, and they basically start you off with 2. And the way they introduce additional systems and the way they introduce how the game, how do I say this? How you play the main game depending on how you... So the game's laid out...
It's really hard to explain this game.
Yeah. At the beginning of every day, you basically get story. And sometimes you get to make a choice, and sometimes you don't. But the way you play the other part of the game is going to change how you make your choices in the beginning. And I have to say, hiring John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem, as this dude, this 60-year-old washed-up cop that's being forced out of his job, is perfect because I didn't think he'd be able to do it, but he manages to straddle the line between being burnt out and salty, but still have a little bit of optimism about the job he's trying to do. And I struggle to think of someone else that would be this good in that role, and it's genuinely pretty surprising.
Yeah, he also doesn't pull a Duke Nukem. I didn't even know it was him until you pointed it out to me.
He's so good in that role. Like, from the first couple of lines in the intro, I was sort of like, yeah, alright, I'm in. I like this game. And then getting through and learning how to play it, and I'm starting to do some of the... what do they call them? I don't know if they're called investigations. The things that you put detectives
the
on.
investigations.
Yeah, investigations.
Case files?
Yeah, some of the stuff is called some weird stuff, and there's sort of a lot of stuff going on in the game. So I'm having a hard time keeping the terminology right. I've started to do some of that stuff, which was initially really frustrating because I wish the game had explained, since you have 2 squads of people, basically one works one day and one works the next day, and they alternate.
Shifts?
Yeah, it's Shift A and Shift B. I really wish they would have explained, on this investigation, if you put a detective from Shift A on it, the case is going to go quiet when Shift B takes over. So if you want to keep pushing forward on this one, you need to put one from each shift on the case, and then they'll sort of keep working on it every day.
Every day rather than every other day.
Because I was trying to... One of the things is, you interview a bunch of people, you get a bunch of eyewitness accounts, and then you're putting these pictures together to figure out how they did the thing in the case. In the second case, I didn't have all the pictures, like it wasn't going together correctly. So I put the other person in, and then by the time the next day ended, it was like, hey, we have 3 more clues. And I was like, oh, here are the things I need. Okay, alright, cool. Now I got it. Alright, okay.
Yeah.
So
I failed that like the 3 times I've started this game. I keep failing that because I keep forgetting that very first investigation. I always forget that.
Yeah, so far I am really digging it, and this is probably the game until Chaos Child comes out. I think it's this week. This is probably going to be the game that is my primary game.
Yeah, my favorite thing as well is you can probably get away with playing it with the kid around too. Just because it's so simple. Yeah,
except for the dialogue. The dialogue is not clean.
Headphones.
Yeah. Oh, always headphones. But it's pretty straightforward, and I like how they've implemented the controls on console. I think it controls really well. Which, if they had made some different choices, it could have been really bad.
Yeah.
Next game I picked up, thanks to Maximus Prime for selling me a code for the Crash Bandicoot collection. Was it the Sane collection?
Trilogy.
Yeah. That game looks way better than it has any right to.
Really?
That is an incredibly good-looking game. And there's a joke when it fires up that, I don't remember the developer's names, Vicarious Visions, maybe? There's a machine with their logo on the side, and Crash, PS1, polygonal giant fingers Crash is throwing stuff in there, and the high-res stuff is coming out of the end of it, and then he hops in it, and then he comes out looking great, and it's just like, it probably doesn't look like that. And yeah, it looks really good, which is just
that's
crazy.
a fantastic way to say, hey, this is what you know, but we remastered it. Like, this is the company that turned this into this. There you go.
Also, remember how bad it looked, and I did not, and that was kind of fun. I also
didn't Naughty Dog make those games?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Vicarious Visions just ported it. And they also famously came out with a piece of DLC for the Lost level that I guess didn't get finished for one of the games. I guess they recreated it based on a bunch of level designs from Naughty Dog, which is kind of cool.
Good for them.
Yeah.
To get that last jab in there.
Yeah. I forgot how hard Crash Bandicoot gets after the first boss. The first couple levels is it's good, you're riding a pig, you're running away from a stone, you're going down the river. And the very first level after that is yeah, baby, this is the real thing. And I have not made it much farther past that.
Yep. Are you ready to 100% nail landing on every single box over this pit? Because if you don't nail one of them, you will die.
Yeah. I've been doing all right until I got to... It's the second famous... the famous level from the first game is level 3 or 4, the Great Wall, where you're climbing 2D. You're climbing up that wall of logs. The second one of those, way harder, especially when you're really tired. That's not the place for pinpoint accuracy for platforming. So, I bless you. I have it digitally, which is probably the best way to go for that, because you can just, when you're sick of dying over and over, you can just kind of quit out of it and just pop into something else, which has been how I'm going. So, so far so good. I know when it came out, the hardcore Crash speedrunners were saying that the jumps are different. I don't really notice that. For a lay person, Crash person like myself.
Yeah, you're not a speedrunner, that's why you don't notice it. You don't frame count platformers.
Yeah, it still feels okay. There are a couple jumps where it's sort of yeah, man, I probably should have made that, but you need to rely on coyote time a little bit more than maybe you needed to in the first game. But so far so good. I'm surprised. It seems pretty great. And last but certainly not least, Life is Strange Before the Storm, Episode 2, started and finished that.
Nice screenshots, by the way.
Thank you. It is really hard to find stuff that isn't spoilers, so I just keep taking screenshots of, hey, this game has great cinematography and there's a giant fire in the distance, so let's just keep posting those.
And Beef Squatch. Don't forget about Beef Squatch.
Yes, Beef Squatch making a cameo here in Life is Strange. It's probably almost an hour longer than the first episode. I spent, other than going back to get the collectible graffiti, I spent probably 4 hours on this, which is a pretty good length for... The first one felt a little shorter than maybe I wanted to, and this was a pretty good length. Also, hilariously, I think it was last weekend when we were done the show. I'm like, man, when's Life is Strange Episode 2 coming out? I feel like it's been forever, and the answer was Thursday. So, good timing on Deck 9, because I was ready to go, and so were they. I am obviously not going to spoil stuff, because a lot of people haven't played the first episode either, and the thing that I like that episode 2 does right off the bat is it deals with and makes you pay for the consequences of your actions in the first one. In a way that I feel like Life is Strange never really did, where Max is just sort of always like, oh, I'm time traveling, woo, everything's fine. This one is very much, you're Chloe and still no one trusts you, and the fact that you did this thing at the end of episode 1 and everyone is really pissed off, more so because, well, of course Chloe did it. You know, it's one of the characters says, like, I know who you are. You're a broken kid from a broken home. What else are you gonna do? And it's just like, ha. But like it's really interesting because
not really. I mean,
well,
her dad died. I mean, it's not like he's a broken home.
Right. Well, I mean, like I think it's interesting because that's the full story, but the perception of everyone in the town is, well, here's this broken kid, you know, their dad died. You know, like, it's this sort of side-eye thing. And it's so different from the first game, which is, like, Max is living this kind of charmed life where she's got this great scholarship and she's going through this thing, and then obviously stuff happens. But it's interesting to see that Chloe in the first Life is Strange often felt that the world was against her, and it's interesting to see that
it was
Before the Storm. Yeah, maybe some of that is founded. You know, maybe like there are just people that just kind of hate her and they're just kind of out to get her. And a large part of the intro to episode 2 is you have done this bad thing, and of course you did because you're a bad kid. Why did we give a bad kid a chance? Now it's coming to bite us. And it's really interesting to see, and it's interesting to see how David is inserting himself into the Price lifestyle and the Price home. I really, really like Rachel Amber. I was worried when this game was announced that the first game sort of holds her up on a pedestal a little bit.
It paints her as the ultimate muse. Every single person who ever met her loved her, and she was the inspiration for everything they did.
Yeah.
She is painted as a god of old kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could ever live up to that, but...
Well, I think Before the Storm shows... the smart thing they do is they show she's just a person. Like, she's just a teenager like Chloe is, and neither one of them are happy with the life that they're going through, so...
Rachel Amber was the popular kid with the short blonde hair, right?
No, she's the one
Rachel
that was
Amber's
missing
the girl
at the
who
beginning.
got killed.
Yeah. She's the one that...
Oh!
Yeah, with all the posters where Chloe was like, I don't...
her friend.
Yeah, like, I don't know where she went. She always said she would be gone. And so the thing that I'm starting to stress out about with Before the Storm is, like, I'm not going to spoil Life is Strange because it's such a large part of where that story goes, but we know what happens to Rachel Amber as part of us going through the first Life is Strange, but I don't yet know how we get from Before the Storm to Rachel Amber disappearing.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious. They only have one more episode to do that, so like, I have a feeling and especially, of course, there's a cliffhanger in episode 2 because there has to be, and it's a doozy, and I am really curious to see how they wrap up all of these threads that they've already laid, and then sort of come to terms with what Life is Strange has already done, and to see how Chloe gets from point A to point B is going to be. They've already laid some of that groundwork for really minor stuff for Life is Strange, but I have really high hopes, and I have really liked both of these episodes. And
how could you make me want this? Really? I was so ready to be not
Wait
not
another
in on
like
this one.
6 to 8 weeks for the. I bought the like digital deluxe or whatever it is, so I'll get also the Max episode, which I'm sort of worried about now. The only thing I can hope about the Max episode is that it ties between the 2 years in between Before the Storm and Life is Strange. But I think all of us, myself included, went into this saying like, well, this didn't need to exist. Like, Life is Strange was a perfect package by itself. 5 really solid episodes that really went places for characters we really loved. And making a prequel and making another Life is Strange didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And so far, I think they've earned it. And it's
really in 2 episodes?
So far, yeah, because I think that's somebody's review out there. I think the stuff that they've done to introduce a lot of this stuff into the game and to deal with, a large part of Chloe's character in Life is Strange has been, well, my dad died a couple years ago, and she still hasn't really started to deal with it. Like, it's still a fresh wound. And to see Before the Storm, that had happened 6 months ago, and for her personally dealing with that in a really interesting way, I think has gone a long way towards earning its prequel status, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think Deck 9 has managed to make a Life is Strange game. I think for better or for worse, a lot of the voices are different. Samuel's voice, I just ran into him in episode 2, was way different and not nearly as good as it was in the first game. But yeah, so far I feel like they made a Life is Strange game, and it's one that I was excited and anxious for episode 2, and now I'm more so with episode 3.
Interesting.
I really wish I could talk more about it, because there's a lot of I talked about, yeah, and I really don't want to spoil people on like a point and click adventure game. But like, you remember how I was talking about the D&D game in episode 1? There's a large event like that in episode 2 that was also really good. It wasn't D&D, but it was also very spoiler and very story related. But it's really cool to see them do something big like that in every episode. And it's pretty cool. Coaster Mall in chat says, how long do you wait between episode 1 and 2? I think it was 6 weeks? 6 to 8 weeks. So it wasn't too bad.
It's like a broken leg.
Yeah. And it's definitely to the point, like I said earlier, where I was curious because it had been long enough. When is this game going to come out? Oh, it's actually coming out this week. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of, Telltale, where it's like, when's the next episode coming out? And the internet's sort of like, yep, yeah, man, I don't know. When is it coming out? It's been 5 months. Like,
Hey, Nicholas.
What are you doing?
This goes out to you, too.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think the biggest compliment I can give this game so far is that I'm really excited to get the next episode. And I never expected to hear you say that. No, I was expecting to come in and play this, and after the first episode, be like, man, I screwed up buying season pass for this one, huh? I'm gonna just slog through like Telltale Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's just like, I guess I have the whole thing. I keep motoring my way through this, but.
Oh God, I should probably see if there's an episode of that.
Episode 3 is out now, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great!
I saw the bunch of reviews online. This is the one where it turns around. It's like, I find that hard to believe. I'll wait for
Batman 3 did it. Batman 3 did it.
I liked Batman before that.
Batman was good from the get-go.
Yeah, Batman.
Batman episode 2 had an amazing cliffhanger.
Yeah, and episode 3 was sort of like, oh, we're going. Okay, yeah, this is all right. If things are changing here, great. All right, that's all I've been playing. So let's take a break. Concerned caller, I'm busy. That's why. If you don't like it, leave. I'm not in the mood. We don't have a call-in number. That's why there's nothing
On
on
the
screen
screen.
or below.
And we do interact with chat during the breaks.
Well, and also when people are asking us questions
So-
about the show, like Kostermal did.
This retro gamepad thing, that seems a bit steep for that.
Oh, the analog stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about it. It's shockingly not. For one big reason.
Is it the sticks?
Mm-mm.
Is it analog buttons like the PlayStation 2 used to have?
No, it's just a... Well, we'll talk about it. It's in the news.
Oh wait, no, the PS2 had digital buttons, didn't it?
The what now?
The PS2, it had the
Analog triggers.
the digital buttons, where it's like half press, full press. They actually had a difference.
No, the PS2 had analog triggers, so it had multiple states.
Yeah.
The GameCube had digital ones where it had like the half click and the full click.
Now I'm talking about the actual face buttons.
Oh, PS2 had... How many states do the face buttons have? They had at least 2. Because,
I think they had 3
No.
because Metal Gear Solid 3 had the half press for controls.
yeah, no, they were fully analog because Metal Gear Solid 2 used them for, like, raising and lowering your gun, and you could do it real slowly depending on how you let off on the buttons.
No, damn, haven't played Dark Souls 3 yet.
You haven't felt like smacking yourself in the face?
Well, it was like I had very limited time, and the whole achievement hunt I'm on right now, well, that ends in 8 days anyway, so
Sweet for
you'll
you.
have one more week of me playing really easy achievement games, and then I'll jump onto other things. But
You have a leaderboard for that? Like, how are you doing?
not for the actual competition, but my aim is 1,000 G a day, and I think today I'm on like 22 G, so
Oh, nice.
right on line with my actual aim.
You won't find out about where your place is until the whole thing's done, right?
Exactly. I
Probably in 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
to be honest, I knew from the get-go I was never ever going to stand a chance of doing it.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since I've done some proper achievement hunting. Like, it's probably been at least, 2 or 3 years since I went on this type of achievement hunting. I do it in everyday gaming because I play things... I adapt my playstyle to get certain achievements. But it's just one of those things where I felt like this is a good time, especially the limited time I've had. The fucking... They're not wanting to sit down. Like, seeing my wife play Deus Ex, the first one, it makes me want to play it so much.
Yeah.
But I'm getting home at 7, 8 p.m. I'm going to bed at 9 or 10. I've got golf club, I've got Isaac, I've got anything else I want to do during that time period. So it's like, I'll spend 30 minutes play this Neo Geo game. Sure.
Yeah, knock it out. Kostermal, we haven't talked about that yet. That's our first news story.
This is Amazon. Where does this stuff come from? A Die Hard Christmas, an illustrated holiday classic.
Oh,
I'm
my
interested.
word.
That might be worth $15.
Yeah. Alright, I am ready to start whenever you guys are.
Sure. Let's scroll up. Okay. I thought it just said my internet was out, but no, that's not true.
I know
Also,
that's the truth.
I do love the fact that Nubs' fart totally showed up on stream again.
Well, not
I
only
just-
that, but it lit up Skype.
Mm-hmm.
What?
You have the blue line underneath whoever's talking on Skype, and it just did a little like... brink.
Yeah, I got the meat farts.
Yeah, it come for us all.
Oh man, those stink. Oh my god. It's been a few days. I'm in trouble.
Uh-oh.
It'd be like moving a brick.
Start chowing down on kale. Let's get that stuff moving.
Get that thing Mackie used. I wish I could remember what it's called now. Text Mackie, ask him. say how to poop, and I bet you he'll immediately have a response.
No, I know what I could do. I mean, I could eat at Subway.
I know how to poop, Moon.
Or I can go to the store and get some Citra Magnesium, which is just human Drano.
Yeah, boy, that stuff is rough. Well, I only had to take that once, and that was... I would use that as a torture method.
I had to take it when I had my surgery about 7 years ago because everything just locked up, basically, because it was abdominal surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, it was not a fun experience.
No, I mean, because I have a dairy issue that if I eat too much cheese, it's like mixing concrete in my upper intestines, and then I have to, like, it gets caught between the transfer of the stomach into the small intestines, and it just locks up.
Yeah.
And I got to drink that, and I probably have to do that.
How to poop?
I just text Mackie just for shits and giggles to see if he.
Hey Siri, how do I poop?
Crap. So I would drink a whole bottle of that.
I forgot I got a new phone, so I can do that now.
So I have taken that stuff more times than I care to admit. Enough that I always have a bottle in the house.
Oof. Now I got to Google PZ Myers. I don't really look like PZ Myers. Thanks though. Also, we've been on the air for 10 years, so stuff.
Yeah, look at the episode number.
It's not there on Twitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm too lazy. I just put TVGP live.
Okay. Yeah, go back to the start of the stream, episode 520.
Yeah.
This is older than the Bombcast.
Yeah.
In fact, in like episode 3, you talk about Jeff Gersman getting laid off from CNET.
Oh, do we?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't remember that. Although I guess.
And then you also talk about the 1UP closures.
Oh yeah. Oh man, 1UP. Thankfully, Giant Bomb is basically doing what 1UP tried to do.
Yeah, I think they figured out a way to do it better.
Yeah. 1UP had too many people to rely on Cult of Personality. And Giant Bomb started Quick Looks, which has been their secret sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Well, letting those guys know games, too.
Yep.
That doesn't hurt.
You can't look at Jeff Gersman and be like, that guy doesn't know games. It's like, no, that guy knows all of the games.
And he was on the Good Morning Show or whatever it was in like 1997 talking about games in his basketball shorts and t-shirt.
Forgot about that. That was a good interview. Man.
Way to break the mold there, Kurt.
Yeah. I was probably like 18 at that point.
I know. Yeah, I'm going to wear my good shorts. My good ball shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright. Oh my, do I still have this pulled up? I probably don't.
How long have we been recording? An hour and a half, wow.
Alright, you ready?
Ready.
Yep.
Alright, ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got releases this week for October 23rd, 2017. Destiny 2 for the PC.
Apparently the beta went pretty well performance-wise. People are saying, like, yeah, they can get 4K at uncapped frame rates. So that's
that's pretty good.
Basically, all you need to do on PC is just say 4K uncapped frame rate, and people go, okay, yeah, great.
All right, we're in.
So,
all right, Just Dance 18 they're still making that.
That's why I put it in here. Like, I remember there was one version of Just Dance. I don't remember when, but you could use your, since Kinect is dead and the Move controllers are basically only for VR. Yeah, you could put it in your smartphone and like that's how you put it in your hand and that's how you track how you do the dance moves. And I thought that was pretty clever. But then they keep making them, so they must be selling.
Why they keep making them? Because they keep selling gangbusters.
Yep.
It says something to wear out little kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's a great
100%. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You writing that one down? For
yeah. Let me buy Just Dance 2020.
buy every version of it, dude. Then you can be like the evolution of dance.
There you go. I got songs.
All right, this is the Police for the Switch.
Probably a pretty cool place to play that.
Yeah.
Probably Assassin's Creed Origins for the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
Oh, I'm resisting it. I'm resisting it so much.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. I think I'm playing a funner version of that game right now. So
I'm curious to see what Origins does. I do know that Origins does have loot boxes in it, but I know as of launch you cannot pay for them. It's just in-game currency. So to me that's the lesser of two evils and means I don't boycott it. 4-7.
Yep.
Or Shadow of War. I don't know. You can earn those other ways, though.
Yeah,
we'll see how you feel when you get to Act 4.
Yeah, the end game is the part. A lot of the coverage of the loot box in the game has been, boy, Act 4 sucks. Except for loot boxes. You can just accelerate this. But I want to know, since you've been diving really deep into the game and not really pushing through it super fast, I wonder if you're doing some of the quote-unquote grind now, and by the time you get to it, it's like, oh yeah, you're like 75% of the way through.
Yeah, cause it seems like, all right, so it seems like your cap to get all the siege beasts or all the siege things caps out at around level 45.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm at level 32 right now.
That's not bad.
I'd imagine I'm probably circumventing a lot of that by just me loving to play this game.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Because it's not like I'm steamrolling it right now. And plus I'm picking up all this stuff and doing all the stupid side stuff and
getting all the experience.
Like tons of experience.
Yeah.
Plus I used the XP boost that came with the game that gave me 100% XP boost for 2 hours, which I went up like 7 levels.
Oh, because you got the gold edition or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Minas Tirith Silver Edition.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. All right, Breckamore. Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch.
I really hope that's good. We could use another great... There hasn't been a mainline Mario... No, Mario Galaxy 2 was the last one that wasn't... No, the Wii U had that 2D and 3D Mario game. Super Mario Odyssey looks really good.
Okay.
I'm excited for that. I don't have a Switch, though.
The game I'm excited for is Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus for
again,
PC,
resisting.
PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.
Out on Friday, to be clear, for some reason.
Yes, on October 27th, because that's when it's coming to my door.
Punch some Nazis.
Yup.
Now, if you have never played any of these, play The New Order, play The Old Blood. These games blew me away.
Amazon had the double pack of New Order and the Old Blood for $20 the other day. Brand new.
You're losing money by not buying it.
That's a no-brainer.
Yes, 100% that's a no-brainer. And if you're a PC gamer, I'm sure they'll be on Steam for like $2 all of this week or something.
Yeah, any week now.
Yeah, they're worth it. I'll just buy it just to support this game because it is fantastic.
Yeah.
And plus you get the Curse of the Moon.
Yeah.
The Mummy Demastered for the Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC.
I saw this in the Xbox store, I immediately thought, why does it say demastered? And then I loaded it. It looks like Aladdin from the SNES.
So, Way Forward made this. So, like Shantae's Risky Revenge, Boy and His Blob. They have made a mummy-based 2D Metroidvania.
What?
And previews so far have said, hey, this is really good. So I'm going to keep a close eye on these reviews because Way Forward 2D Metroidvania checks 3 whole boxes that are really big.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, that's the half-inch chisel tip check.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm hoping that's really good because I could use a 2D Metroidvania right now. That sounds all right.
I hate the name for it, but you know,
it's clever.
If it's good, it's good. And could this be the big return for licensed video games?
Maybe. Unfortunately, that cool Thor DS game didn't didn't really make it happen. Was that Way Forward as well? Maybe it was. Whoops. All right, let's move on to news stories. Let's start the show with a showstopper. EA shuts down Visceral.
Boo.
Just
so
out
why?
of nowhere. For anyone that doesn't know, Visceral Games started life as EA Redwood Shores in 1998. They are most recently famous for Dead Space 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
They were working on...
And Dante's Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's true. Dante's Inferno.
They were working on
a
the
show
Star Wars game, weren't they?
Yeah, they were working on some sort of Star Wars game that was going to come out in 2019 and had been shown behind closed doors at some E3s. Not a lot of details. It's really tough because here's the statement.
Yeah. I read this whole thing. I think you actually saw my tweet about it.
Yeah.
I am very, very angry about this decision to shut down this studio, and especially with this kind of comment.
Yeah, and Amy Hennig was working on it too.
Yes.
So like even worse. Who is this? This guy, EA executive Patrick Soderlund said, quote, "It has become clear that to deliver an experience that players will want to come back to and enjoy for a long time to come, we need to pivot the design. We are shifting the game to be a broader experience that allows for more variety and player agency," end quote.
You suck, dude.
He also said, quote, "It was shaping up to be a story-based linear game, feedback about what and how fans want to play, and fundamental shifts in the marketplace led to this cancellation."
AKA, let's put multiplayer in, let's make it Destiny in a Star Wars universe, because that's what everything is, and hashtag I want single player.
Yeah, it's hard not to see EA coming out and shutting down an entire studio over one game, a Star Wars game that, based on the leaked screenshots, looked kind of like a third-person shooter, which... Mm-hmm. After Star Wars, what was it, 1919? After that,
1313.
1313, yeah. I just read a book about it. I should have remembered that. After that dying and then killing that studio, LucasArts, and then this dying and killing this studio, it's really hard not to look at that and say, boy, those loot boxes are making millions and millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. Can you guys work those in there?
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I can't remember who posted it on Twitter. It might have been you retweeted it, Boston. Mm-hmm. But someone did I think it was about a 20-tweet thread about loot boxes.
Yeah.
And how it basically said, no, loot boxes increase your stock. It's got nothing to do with the game. It's got nothing to do with the experience. It's if you put loot boxes in and you can say we sold with real money X amount of loot boxes, your stock goes up by X amount of dollars. So why not have them in every single possible game we can, even if they shouldn't be there? And if you're making a single player game, there's no reason to have them in.
Well, I mean, look at Destiny 2. I think that's a really great example because Destiny 2 is $60, and then if you don't buy the season pass, that's it. Loot boxes are, to be fair to the business, and I'm obviously not speaking for a lot of gamers here, it's a great revenue stream, and a lot of games make billions. GTA 5 Online has made billions of dollars a year by selling real money in-game items. And loot boxes compound that problem by adding randomness.
Yep.
And in the way that I think is shady and dangerous, because it is, at best, dealing with some... like our pin pack obsession, where it's sort of like, I like opening stuff, I like seeing random stuff come out, and every once in a while really good stuff comes out.
It's something you want.
Yeah. And at worst, it is exploiting people with gambling problems.
It's not only
people
that.
before that don't understand what a gambling problem is.
Exactly. That's even more dangerous.
I think it gets even more dangerous because then the games get designed in a way to very subtly nudge you in that direction to wanting to pick them up. It's not a case of these are here if you want them. It's a case of you want these, nudge, nudge, nudge.
Or like you have to have these to stay competitive. Like in the case of Forza 7, they removed a core piece of the game from Forza 7 to put those in loot boxes, and then came out and said, well, we're not taking real money for them until later. We are doing that. So it's
they did the same thing in Forza Horizon, though. Like in Horizon 2, there is an option to pay real money to get a lot of things on it. Now, the best thing about Horizon 2 is you go into those screens, one button press turns all of the notifications off.
Yeah.
You have the choice to ignore it. You have the choice to turn them off.
I don't know what's more egregious, like having this loot creep into everything, or the paid unlocks for what you bought on the disc. Like
Both
like the Street Fighter problem.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like there's sort of like two shades of that first example you're giving, the loot creep, which I often like in a lot of games. Like, they didn't have to put loot and like a Diablo loot system into Shadow of War, but I feel like on the surface it improves that game. It gives you more customability. It's giving you a lot of stuff to do with the challenges and putting gear sets together. Like, that's the main treadmill that fuels stuff like Destiny and Diablo. And to put that into something like this gives you more content that you probably don't have to do to compete, but you can. The real bummer is when the game is always saying, like, hey man, the real good loot is over here for $24.99. You get guaranteed epic loot, like at least one piece, and like that to me, I feel like I play a lot of games on mobile like that. We're playing a game like that right now, which is Marvel Puzzle Quest. Yeah. It's free. It's not $60. That then you have, welcome to the EA Store Traveler popping up in every menu saying, like, boy, your gear could be way better if you just spent just $5, just a little bit here.
Well, I mean, some games handle that really well. Like Marvel Puzzle Quest does a great job by leveling your deck or your stable of covers to the level you are. You don't have to have, like, you don't have to be playing the hardest level game. You play your level.
Right.
And you progress through the freeway, which is a longer treadmill, a longer track to get to where you're doing the crazy stuff that we're doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's same thing with the Trailer Park Boys, Greasy Money. Like, every day it'll say, here's your wicked deal of the day, and you get X number of hash coins and this much liquor. And it's $5. Like, yeah, it's $5, right. But it's just pushing it along.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius does that too, where it's like every day there's a deal. It's like $1 or $2, and you get a bunch of good materials, but you don't have to.
Right, and it's not like the $24 for a loot crate that's guarantee you a specific item that you may not need.
On top of a game that's already $60 to $100.
Correct.
Like, that's what's even worse.
And with that as well is loot is an augmentation to the game itself. That's why it works so well in Borderlands. That's why it works so well in Diablo.
Yep.
That you're constantly grinding for better loot.
Yep.
If you take that stuff away to a paid system, you break that game cycle.
Right, and that's where the greediness really comes out, because that's why Blizzard pulled the real money auction house out of Diablo 3, was because the perception of the game and how the majority of people playing the game were saying is like, well, I can't play these harder difficulties because I don't get the gear, because the game's not dropping the gear, but I could just go spend $20 to get the sword that I'm looking to complete my gear set, and then I can play Nightmare 3. Like, that was very much an accurate perception of what the problem is. And I feel like we're seeing that now, but with the added screw you on top of gambling, which obviously the ESRB has recently come out these last 2 weeks and said, well, it's not gambling because the stuff you get isn't of monetary value. It's like,
but it's randomized. It's a game of chance that you're spending money on.
Right, real money.
Yeah. That's the difference. And you have anything, because we're in a very instant gratification society here
Yep.
that people are going to blow money, like a lot of money.
And they make
like how much money? Yeah, I mean, how much money did I drop on Gears of War?
Yeah, like
It was stupid.
they make opening those boxes look really cool too. Like it's feeding this problem. And like, here's a great example. Battle Chasers Nightwar has loot boxes in it from this one vendor, and he takes something called shadow coins. You earn shadow coins by beating bosses, or by fishing, or by getting these rare items in dungeons, and then you redeem those coins for loot boxes, among a lot of other stuff that's more valuable. And those loot boxes have gear from that specific dungeon that you can get. But they don't take real money. So at that point, I don't care. Like, I don't need it to be competitive, which to me in a single-player RPG is, can I finish the game without having to use loot boxes? But, like, we're getting to the point for a lot of this stuff, you know, starting with even Overwatch. Here's this game at $60. You might also need to spend.
No,
what's
in this case, I'd say Overwatch is one of the few places that does it right, because every single thing that comes out of those boxes that I understand is cosmetic.
Yeah, but I think I stand on the other line of that, and I agree with that. But I think the secondary economy that comes out of the boxes, which is, oh, I got a spray and it's a duplicate, I'm gonna trash that for like 5 silver. A new crate is 1,000. Like that economy doesn't add up. Like that's where I really have the problem.
Yeah, that secondary economy I absolutely despise. But places like Dota 2, and Rocket League. Rocket League has an esports scene because it has loot boxes. Loot boxes give you cosmetics in that game. I love my wife, Jess. When you eventually listen to this episode, I apologize for outing you. She has probably dropped about $300 on Rocket League on keys to open the crates.
I mean,
all cosmetics.
I did something very similar with pin packs, but I think here's my differentiation between Rocket League and Dota. Dota is free and feature complete for $0. Rocket League costs money and then has real money loot boxes on top of that. That to me is the problem, where and I understand that Rocket League started out not having loot boxes and being for charge, and I'm fine with that. It's just, to me, I am immediately too tired for companies asking for $60 to $100 for a game that doesn't come with all the content and comes with real money loot boxes. That sucks. Like
if we're subsidizing that, the game should be subsidized in price.
Well, and it's a lot of big companies like Destiny 2. You can't tell me that Activision doesn't have enough money to fund the creation of Destiny 2. Like, you can't tell me that Dice and EA doesn't have enough money to not put real money loot boxes into Battlefront 2. Like, that's wrong. They can fund they can fund this development. So I always hear the defense of, like, well, video games cost so much today. They do. I won't argue that. But also, a lot of these companies have the money. It's not like it's Tribute Games. You know, they made Flint Hook and they made Wizorb and all this stuff. They have like 4 people working for them. That would be the company I would expect to say, like, look, man, you're funding the next game by buying stuff in the game. They don't. The game's $10. Yeah. Go crazy.
That's, to be honest, that's why, like, things like Dota 2, whatever, that's, you know, like you said, it's free. It has cosmetic crates. That's fine. Overwatch, I don't like the secondary market, like you said, how little you get back for trashing something which you opened. Rocket League, I'm fine with it because they are really clear about what they're doing with their crates. Like, they have pop-ups on the homepage and stuff, basically giving you updated. They update all their prize pools and things like that for their esports events.
It does go for that, yeah.
Based on people opening and getting cosmetics for the keys.
That's a little better.
You know, and with Rocket League as well, it's $20.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not like it's a 61, and they're actually doing something positive with their crates, I think, rather than this is all money that we're making.
Right.
Well, but so we're missing, like, and again, we keep harking back. We keep going back to the pin pack argument here, because the pin pack was probably the most egregious version of this, and it still got us.
Yep.
Because not only did you not only had all the courses when you bought the game, but you had to use real world money to buy these pin packs because the economy in the game was so broken. You couldn't earn enough to get in-game currency to afford them.
Right.
So, and that was your baseline vanilla game where you're spending money to play the courses you already paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was madness.
Yeah, and I think everybody needs to get bitten by this once. Like, and pin packs was definitely ours, where it was just like, wait, what am I doing? Like, what have I spent my money? What's happening here?
Right, where you get a dozen pins for, I think you had like 9 locked courses, and so you got a dozen pins. So you're lucky if you got 9 holes on one course unlocked.
God, yeah, I forgot about that.
Which
that
was
nasty.
Absurd. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna buy 4 packs, and then hopefully I'll have another course to play.
Yeah,
and it was just, man, I forgot how angry I was about that.
Yeah, that sucked.
And that we couldn't help ourselves, and that's when we saw the issue.
Yeah, because we were having fun playing the game. It's just because of how EA had designed it, you couldn't play all of the game without buying pin packs. Yeah, that was horrible, man. Jeez. Yeah. Moon, you were gonna say something else, sorry.
Oh no, like, I'm kind of lucky I haven't been bitten by that. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I might sit here and defend Rocket League and defend Dota. I'm 100% with you guys on this. I believe we are anyway, where it's screw loot boxes, screw this approach, screw everything about this. But I'm lucky because I've never been bitten by any of these things because, to be honest, number one, I am stubborn. If I put $60 into your game, I am not giving you any more unless it's really good DLC.
Yeah, unless you have.
I really, really don't buy DLC. Generally speaking, I am not a DLC person, and I also worked in the gambling industry for almost 2 years. I have seen what this type of thing does to people, and it makes me sick to my stomach to see the effect it can have on people.
Yeah, I think the thing is like. The thing that worries me the most is I'm worried about a lot of future games that I like. Like, I'm worried about Borderlands 3.
Because this is going to be in there.
Yeah, like, you can buy...
They subsidize that with the golden keys on Twitter. Like,
sure.
That was a smart way to handle it.
You want to buy 5 golden keys for $4.99?
No.
You know, like, it's that sort of thing where it's...
Because that loot was garbage.
Right, but it's easy to pick it up and say, like, yeah, it's not... 5 keys, you have a chance to get a piece of blue gear. 10 keys, I mean, you have a really good chance of getting a fat perp. 25 keys, that's the low price of $23.99, and you can get an orange.
Guaranteed legendary.
Yeah,
like, that's the problem, is that it puts that carrot in front of you and puts a price tag on it.
And it's also $100 for the game and the Season Pass. Season Pass 1, not Season Pass 2. But, you know, like, you can easily see how this can sort of start infecting a lot of other games. Yeah. And, like, the fact that there's loot. You know, obviously there was gear and there was loot in the Assassin's Creed games, but now it seems like it's a much bigger part of Origins, so naturally loot boxes are there too. And I'd love to see a review where it's like, those don't matter. Gear doesn't really matter.
That's what I'm waiting for, to be completely honest. Coach Jamal in chat actually says, isn't this the same discussion we all had with DLC? Yes and no. Yes, it's similar. Because some DLC was just hot garbage, Horse Armor being the famous example of it. But then you got to the point where when you get genuinely great experiences, which are add-ons that come on after the fact.
Like Borderlands 2.
Like Borderlands is a prime example of some of the best DLC.
Yep. A season pass that was genuinely worth it.
Yeah. LA Noire, the very first season pass, was $10, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Not 30, not half the price of the game. It
was
like
double
10,
the price of the game.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? I mean, look at what we did with Battlefield 4. It was like $60 for the game, and then $50 for the, what was it, Prestige, or
what was it called? I mean, Forza does
premium. It was premium that got you all the DLC and better loot grinds.
I mean, Forza's been doing that since like Forza 3 or 4, where it's a $60 game, and then like the VIP car pass is like $80.
Yep.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah, but and then go back to the Street Fighter thing when you had your day one unlocks and there were 108K downloads. And you're like, wait a minute,
wait a tick, like, and
that's.
I mean, that's even more reason for a lot of these games. And I wrote on Twitter the other day, I pre-ordered, there was an Amazon lawsuit settlement that paid out a $23 gift card for Amazon. So I went and I pre-ordered the Horizon Zero Dawn Game of the Year edition. So I'm getting that for $20 because I waited long enough after the game came out and then after the DLC came out to say, well, I'm going to scoop the Game of the Year edition up cheaper, and then, thankfully had sort of an Amazon windfall. But like, for a lot of these games, there's very few reasons to pick it up day one anymore. Not only because in 2 or 3 weeks it's $40, but a lot of the, other than something like Prey, that's never going to get DLC. Rumor is it did not sell up to expectations, but we saw what happened with Dead Space 2.
Yeah, they say that about every single player game, though. Every single player game cannot live up to expectations.
Dead Space 2 famously missed expectations, and they sold over 4 million units.
Mm-hmm. It's like Square said the same thing about Tomb Raider. I think the first Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
The second one, and they were like, "Oh yeah, both of them didn't sell up to expectations." The first Tomb Raider, the first Lara Croft game that came out of the recent generation, I think that sold like 5-6 million copies, and that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, and they're like kicking the can. They're like, "Oh shucks, I don't know if we'll make another one." It's like, really? You gotta change that.
Well, I mean that's the blockbuster mentality of what our culture is turned into. It's either a blockbuster or nothing.
Or it's like the worst thing of the year.
Right.
Like, it's not okay. We've seen this for games, and we've talked about it over the 10-year lifespan of this show, where it's like we miss B-level games, where it's a game that maybe isn't even $60, and it's good. It's fine. Well, it's not the worst game I've played, and it's not the best, but like not everything can be Battlefield 1.
Well, in the same way with the sheer acceleration of how games used to come out too, like like the rapid fire of like games coming out on PlayStation, like that catalog built up to insanity quickly. Yep. Once it hit 2 or 3 years in its life cycle. Same thing with the PlayStation 2.
Yep.
Look at the 360. It's another where games just continually rolling out that you wanted to play.
And I can point to 2 games during the PS1's life cycle that caused this problem, and that is Madden and Call of Duty. Both of those were making news stories on the nightly news saying, gamers are lining up around the block for Toys R Us for the hot new game. Sold 17 million in its first day. Estimated to sell 50 million in its first week. And then, like, Square puts out a Tomb Raider game, and they're like, I mean, I guess it sold 6 million in its first day. That's fine, whatever. It's like off shelves after the first week because it, quote-unquote, didn't do well.
Yeah.
It's like, how is a game like Prey supposed to survive? How is this Star Wars game supposed to survive when you're supposed to sell...
Because we could sit there and carry the torch on the interwebs.
That's the only thing we can do.
All right, here's our answer. Go play Prey.
That's right.
Yes.
It's usually like $20 now.
Go and buy Prey.
Good. Yes, go and buy Prey. That's most important. All right, let's move on to some other news stories. Analog is back. They are not the technology, but the company that is making a HDMI-based Super NES. Knobs said, "Boy, this is expensive. It's $189." Two things are important
for Super NES. Come on.
2 things are important for this.
I've got one brand new in a box sitting right next to me. This
does not have Super NES internals. This is all brand new stuff, so it's not they didn't take the motherboard out and put in a new one. They're building new motherboards. The other thing too is this is way cheaper than their NES, which was $500.
What?
Yeah, they made
that
like
makes
this
no sense at all.
Aluminum enclosed, beautiful, and people are like, I don't want to pay $500, but like you want to give me like a working Super NES that I can put my cartridges into with a wireless controller. Okay, that seems pretty cool. Like for $189. What's that?
We're not all Soul Man. We're not all going to go out and spend $500 on the latest piece of retro tech. Soul Man.
You know what?
Or Scott.
If that thing's made out of aluminium, yeah, sure, I'll buy that.
Of course you would. It's a Steelbook NES.
It's a Steelbook NES.
Yeah, exactly. I think the thing that's cool is, obviously this isn't for everyone, but I like that they're coming out with a product that it's getting very hard to find good, fully functioning Super NESs. So you can go and you can get this thing that you plug your cartridges into that supports HDMI, that supports PS4 controllers, that supports a whole bunch of stuff for $189, and you can still use your existing Super NES library. Obviously, for a lot of people that are buying the Super NES Classic, not the same market, but, I think that's a pretty cool piece of tech. Even though it
really is.
Yes, it is.
Totally not for me, but
No, I don't think it's for any of us. But and last but not least, Sony is starting a new label called Unties, which is publishing indie games on the Switch.
Yep. Good on them.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah, Microsoft put out Minecraft on everything. Like, there's no reason to not put stuff out. They're putting out a whole bunch of stuff. Probably the most famous of them is Tiny Metal. A lot of that stuff is coming out on Switch. Basically, Tiny Metal, someone made a new Advance Wars. And it looks really good. It's one of those things where, like, Nintendo won't. So...
Yes.
Sorry, Nintendo
like,
don't. My apologies.
The other M2 or whatever it's called.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. Although it's not Sony Interactive Entertainment that's putting these games out, it's Sony Music Entertainment has the games label that's then putting the games out.
I'm curious if they've done that to avoid some sort of conflict of interest lawsuit thing down the line,
or like the stakeholders being like, "Don't you guys have a console? Why are you putting it on the other one, not yours?" But also, yeah, like Tiny Metal should come out on PS4. I think it's already set up too, but. All right, let's move on to emails, or actually questions from Discord is what we have this week. Servo writes in and says, are there any games you can think of that had good/bad add-on/DLC? Very timely question. Because you owned another game in the series, or they partnered with someone, i.e. Shadow Warrior having the giant purple toy skin for the sword due to owning Saints Row 4.
Mad Max has, I believe it's Mountain Dew cars in it.
What?
Well, yeah. I guess he did ask for partnering with someone.
That happened before the Boom Boom came?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of games that did... Oh, hold on. Dragon Age 2 and Dead Space 2 and something else.
The armor.
Mass Effect 2. Those
Mass
all
Effect
shared
2, yeah.
armor between each other, so you're like... Wearing Inquisitor armor in Dead Space 2, I think it was.
Yeah.
And in Mass Effect you had Isaac's armor.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's awesome.
I liked that. Like, we don't get a lot of that from games. Also, we don't have one studio putting out 3 AAA games in a period of 3 months. So we don't often see that.
I love, Kojima brought it up in chat for a different reason, but Prince of Persia, you could play as the original... Prince and Altair in that game.
Yeah, that's right. That was cool.
In the Pup 09, you could change your models.
I feel like a lot of this we see nowadays are loyalty stuff for like having the Uplay logged in on your console and like, oh, you played the last Assassin's Creed, so now you can have their outfit in the new one because it knows all the stuff you played. Square Enix does some of that stuff. Square Enix did that with Sleeping Dogs. You dress up as the guy from...
Just Cause.
Just Cause.
Yeah, Just Cause.
And you had the grapple gun, too, which was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other fun ones. We don't get a lot of these.
No, because it tends to be... For lack of a better way to phrase this, it tends to be they're not as open to universe breaking anymore.
Yeah. Except for indies. Like, indies do that a lot.
it's not so much that, but I mean, it's like you have your studios are a conglomerate of the whole, but none of these guys seem to be communicating with anymore.
Right.
Where I mean, where Visceral was always communicating with BioWare when they were doing stuff, and because they were probably using the same engine, the same tools, and so there's cross collaboration. I mean. I mean, even whatchamacallit didn't even get it right. Bethesda between the Vault game. What's that called? Fallout Shelter. Between Fallout Shelter and Fallout. Like, that should have been a no-brainer, and why wasn't someone on board that was in the higher up to allow that to happen? For that to become
getting you a little bit of
thing.
caps in Fallout 4. Yeah.
Like, how is that stuff not cross-promotional?
Right. Yeah. All right, next question from Gibbinator. What dumb game ideas of old would you like to see developers try again? The online infrastructure is good enough that they could probably bring back games with live broadcasts like they did with the Satellaview. Boy, Satellaview is going way back. I feel like there was a game recently that tried to do that live broadcast stuff. Was it Quake Live?
I have no idea.
I feel like it was, where they were like broadcasting. I'll have to do some looking here.
Dumb concepts I want to see come back. I can never remember the name of it, but we all kind of love this game, I believe. The video game guy who shoots terribly. He's got water guns. They made a
Matt Hazard.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
The Return of Matt Hazard to Eat Lead.
Oh my god, that was a great game.
Yeah.
That was a fun game, I should say.
Yeah.
Dominion game, not the yellow guys. This is definitely a game
Overlord?
we all love. That's the one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing I would have said is like the old Sega channel where you could rent games for a while. Like it would download them onto the cartridge. But Microsoft's doing that with the Game Pass. So that to me was
doing it with Play Anywhere.
Yeah, it was kind of the last bastion of, hey, let's download a game and play it. Because PlayStation now, they keep trying, and the technology is just not there. Streaming games still sucks. But being able to download your games now, that's the ticket.
Yeah, I kind of loved how bad it turned out, but the TV show video game concept for Quantum Break.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was clever.
I loved and hated that at the same time. But then stuff like The Bunker and Late Shift just made me, that tickled that correct part of me, because it was just, oh, hey, it's just an FMV game.
Yeah. Yeah, like I guess FMV games have come back in a big way in the last couple of years too, with compression and storage blowing up.
They had that stuff in Halo too, didn't they?
Oh, they had like
Halo channel or something. Like they had one.
They tried to.
They've done a TV miniseries which works out to be roughly the length of a movie, and I think they've done 2 of them now, which they basically just produce them as promos for the games coming out.
Yeah, I think they then shut down that section.
Yes,
of
they did.
Yeah.
And one of them was really fantastic.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the bugs?
Probably.
No, that's Starship Troopers.
Oh, right.
Something with bugs. I swear to God. I think. I'd probably own it. I like Halo lore. I just hate the games.
Yeah.
But the books are so good. Like, so good.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next question here from Maximus Prime. This week, EA announced it's closed down Visceral Games, the studio who brought us Dead Space, and was with Amy Hennig's help developing a new Star Wars game. They've done so in order to shift the game's development to a games-as-a-service model, brings me to my question. Do you think the games-as-a-service model is destroying the games industry from the inside out, or do you think the games-as-a-service model is natural and healthy evolution of the industry? I feel like I think we addressed all of that earlier.
See previous.
Yeah, I don't know if we have anything to
Games
add.
as a service, I'm fine with. Get the pricing sorted.
Yeah, don't be greedy.
Well, yeah, that's a problem. It's like make your in-game currency be a better. You need to get a better reward in game before you have to pay. Like here's
the shorthand for it. Give me a $60 game for my $60. Give me a full game.
Yes.
Don't make me subsidize your profit margin.
Yeah. Late Elf asks a question based off Maximus Prime's question. Further question, could this be the gaming hell that Nintendo has been dancing around the edges of, and it's going to save us from?
It is the gaming hell they're dancing around. They're not going to save us from, because Nintendo does what Nintendo do.
Oh, they're going to jump into that pit at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to be, oh, you want retro Mario? Give us $5.
Well, I mean, they just started getting into DLC and season passes with Zelda Breath of the Wild, so in 2030, they'll probably start putting loot boxes in, and they'll just be as terrible.
They are doing Toys to Life now with Amiibo.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's done very well for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Late Elf is asking a question that's sort of tongue-in-cheek, but I think we as people that enjoy games should be wary of the cult of personality around Nintendo. You should be wary of cult of personality in general, but
yes.
I think especially don't hold Nintendo up to some sort of higher standard. They will take all of your money if you would give it to them.
Oh yeah,
I give you the virtual
for
console
as little
for the
as
past
possible.
3 generations.
Yeah.
Yep.
Virtual consoles are great. Oh no, we couldn't bring it over. Oh no. Oh, we're doing it again though. It's $1 more.
Sorry, we couldn't get our color palette to work, but it's on a new system. Let's pay you. It's another $250.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. Maximus Prime asks another question to continue down the path of gaming hell. What do you guys think about Activision being granted a patent this week that allows it to use matchmaking in games to make someone spending money on microtransactions more enticing? Let me finish the question and then we'll clarify what this actually is. It potentially will adjust matches so players who have bought cool weapons and gear will be matched with people who have not bought the better and more likely gear. I typically don't have issues with microtransactions in games since I have more money than time, but wow, this sounds horrible. Looking forward to hear Boston's response in particular, especially since he's a fellow PvP Destiny fan like myself, and Activision publishes that IP. Keeping it real, y'all. Maximus out. Okay, so a couple of things. They were granted this patent in 2015 as part of some exploratory work that one of their studios that's unnamed was doing. Activision and Bungie swear that it's not in Destiny 2. Take that for what you will. Basically, what this patent was doing is it would take somebody that is either new to the game or hasn't spent a lot of money on, let's say, cosmetics, and it would specifically pair them with somebody who has either played the game a ton and has all the cool gear, or has spent a ton of money on cosmetics, trying to take advantage of the fact that people in multiplayer games, especially things that are MMOs or MMO-likes that are like Destiny, look at someone else and be like, I'm wearing like twigs and leaves, and this dude is like floating on a spectral horse and shooting flames out of his hands. How do I get that?
Something like that has 2 effects. Number
Right.
1, it makes the person who's already purchased everything feel great about themselves because they are awesome compared to who hasn't. Number 2, it makes the person who hasn't purchased anything more likely to purchase things. It's another nudge, head over here into this paid-for content to get what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's like my new brain. Now I have a boat. I'm no longer doing my dishes in the bathtub. Like it's power marketing is what
Exactly.
that is.
And I mean, like, it's such an effective thing in MMOs. Like, you play World of Warcraft and you go into that first city, and there are people riding horses that are insane, and they have all this gear that looks crazy, and it's like, your immediate thought is, I want to get there. Like, I want to do the stuff that gets me there. That's one thing. But then to take advantage, to, like, psychologically take advantage, which is the real dirty part of, all right, I know how this makes gamers tick. They want to be the cool guy. So psychologically, we're going to take advantage of that. That's where it gets really crappy.
It's the Xenoverse lobby. Like, how did that dude get that gear?
Right. The only difference is you couldn't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's where it gets
in
worse.
game you could buy it, but yeah,
Right.
no, I totally understand what they were doing. It's like here's the big show model, and here's the muscle dude that all you need to do is take these 2 pills a day, and you'll look like me.
That's why car commercials don't show the $20,000 car. They show the $65,000 car. It's like, ooh, look, multiple zone heating, ooh, heated seats and all that stuff. And you're like, oh, I can't. How much is that? I can't afford that. Jesus.
Yeah. But you want it.
You could if it came out of a loot box.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to cut that out. I'm not going to give them any ideas.
No. Oh, my God. This is the new thing in car buying.
It could even be a boat.
It's going to be what's in the box?
It could be anything. It could even be a boat.
It could be a boat. Yeah.
I am glad that, wink wink, no one has used that so far. Wink wink. I was gonna say, I feel like that would be the last straw for the industry, but no one has really fought back against loot boxes, so what the hell do I know?
No, because...
Well, it's the problem, because you know what? People like loot.
Well, and people don't want to not buy the game just because it has some shady stuff in the background.
It's not just that either. It's our community, generally speaking, aside. Everybody I've talked to from our community is fine, intelligent people. The populace at large, and handsome, or beautiful, depending on who you are. The populace at large is filled with morons. Morons who have made decisions that have impacted global markets recently. We won't talk about that. That's not what this show's here about. However, these people are the same people who wouldn't even notice they are getting manipulated unless you literally smack them in the face with a sign that says you are being manipulated. And even if you did that, they're not going to believe you. That such wholesome corporations as Activision and EA and everybody else, they wouldn't treat me that way. I'm a valued customer. No, you're a product to these companies.
They are used car salesmen, and you need a car.
Well, that's exactly it. You're there. You purchase their ability to market directly to you.
Yep.
And from that point on, you are just a statistic.
You're You are the product.
They could care less. Like, I boycotted EA for how long was that, boss? It had to have been 15 years.
Yeah, at least a decade, if not 15 years. Yeah.
It had to have been 15 years. I refused to play anything that EA's name was on. Yeah. And guess what? Really didn't matter.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's not going to matter.
I think that's the most dangerous thing, Moon, I think, is this. It's not willful ignorance.
It's the herd mentality.
Well, it's not even that. It's not willful ignorance, because that's dangerous to another degree. It's just general ignorance where it's like, okay, cool, a new Call of Duty game's coming out. I love the last one. I'm going to pick it up. That's the decision that has happened, because a lot of gaming is so big at this point. A lot of people aren't reading websites or reading. I was going to say NeoGAF, but that's dead now.
They're not in the know. They don't. Exactly. They're not knowledgeable.
Right. And
no, we're a herd. We're a herd lining up for the donkey punch.
Yep.
Pay your money, get punched in the junk, move on. Oh wait, if I put money in this time, maybe I won't get punched.
Well, the treadmill's different next year. Maybe it won't end with me getting punched in the giblets.
Yeah.
Whoops, it did. Mm-hmm. And they took $5. Crap.
And I paid them to do it. That's the horrifying part of it.
Yeah. And our last question here is from T-Bomb Rocks. Rapid fire time. Being able to pause a cutscene or being able to skip a cutscene?
Pause.
One long loading time, then none, or quick restarts?
One long,
then none.
Yeah. I die a lot and stuff, so I want to say quick restarts.
Here's why I'm going to say one long loading time. That game, like, not loading between holes in the Golf Club 2 shaves off a half an hour.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, you've sold me. One long loading time. 3/3 TVGP says it's a
Grand Theft Auto going between islands. You don't have to load between each of them.
Sure, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. A single type of microtransaction or multiple types of in-game currencies to open a chest?
In-game currency.
Yeah, none optimally, but single currency, yeah. It drives me crazy when you open up the start menu and there's 4 currencies at the top, and it's like, oh no. Here we go.
Give me single.
Yeah. And last but not least, 70 frames per second, 720p, or 30 frames per second, 1080p, both are locked. 60.
Yeah.
Every time.
I don't notice the difference, so I really don't care.
Go play Gears of War multiplayer mode. You
That's the one time I noticed it.
You cannot tell me that game does not look stunning.
Yeah, that's the difference between
completely different
30 and 60 in one game.
Like that one time where we were playing Horde mode and we accidentally got into a multiplayer. I was like, why does this look amazing?
Why is this running well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay, 60 every time.
I will always, and thankfully for a lot of games, especially on PS4 Pro, I like that developers are picking up on this, where they'll give you the, performance or visuals option for games that have a PS4 Pro patch. I want that, man. If you can give me, I will even take 720p at 60 frames. But I like having that smooth experience. I mean, we grew up in the generation where every racing game was 60 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the standard up until PS2, probably.
Just wait until we get a locked 60 frames at 1080p. That's got to be
so good. Yeah,
and
you know what does it?
Then we'll be clamoring 30 frames at 4K.
You know what does it? The Yakuza games. Beautiful games, locked 60 frames, 1080p. Oof. I don't know what dark magic they've done to make that happen, but like every time I fire it up and I start playing, I'm like, oh, that's smooth, and I can see the pores on people's faces. Great.
Wait, get the Derby processor on it. Now everyone's got horrible skin.
Perfect. It's great. All right, that's all of our questions this week. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Email us tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us at tvgp. The link to the Discord server and every other link is on the right-hand side of the page.
And don't forget to join us for our game nights. Monday night, 10 p.m. EST on the Xbox One. Tuesday's Destiny night. All platforms available. Maybe sooner or later I might jump into that. I can't. I guarantee nothing.
Wait until like the maximum collection comes out in like 3 years.
Your power level's maximum.
Yeah.
No, Nobs has got to go through the all-time Bungie games first, so let him get them done before he moves on to the next one.
Oh my god, I'm still working on 3. Anyway, Wednesday's Rocket League, again, across the board. You can probably get something rolling on that. Thursday night, Steam Game Night, and Friday through the weekend. Please do not be shy. Throw messages out, throw things out. I know the dashboard just updated, so now we got to relearn everything again.
It's so good, though. It's so quick and snappy.
I forgot to tell this.
Quick and snappy, but I have no idea where anything is.
I forgot to tell the story that Microsoft, my Xbox One turned on by itself and was just like, "Hey man, you got a dashboard update." It's like, yeah, cool. You've been off for a couple of months for a reason. Like you can't be turning yourself on here, bro. I have an old school Xbox One.
Go.
Like
Big Brother coming at you.
This month's Game Club game is This Is the Police. Right now on sale for PC on Steam for $7.50. What else? Listen to our last Game Club recap episode for Abzu. That should be out now. If you're watching this live, it'll be out tonight. And watch us and follow us, twitch.tv/E1M1 Network, that video game podcast on YouTube. Subscribe or follow wherever, and it will let you know when we go live. And don't forget, patreon.com/E1M1. Moonpeer and I have started to live stream T-Bomb R, the Binding of Moonpeer Boston Rebirth. So if you want to join us and hang out for probably our fastest show, other than the Abzu Game Club, you can hang out and do that and get early access to not only the audio version, but the video version. Patreon.com/E1M1. And that's our episode. Thank you all very much for listening these past 10 dumb years. We have 10 more, probably even dumber years, until video games are outlawed, and then we start talking about books or cars or something, I don't know. Then we will keep doing this dumb show every week. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you all next week.
When can I sign up for my gold Buckeye card?
As soon as you get your diamond Xbox Live card.
Sweet.
I still have mine.
Your diamond card?
Yeah, remember the diamond Xbox Live card?
No.
Yeah, it was like $5 and they sent you a physical card and it got like 5% off at like Taco Bell and GameStop and Subway and all this stuff. But the thing is, Microsoft never told anyone. So you would bring this in, I'd bring it in like Subway, and they'd be like, yeah, we don't accept whatever this card is. Like, you need a credit card. And I was like, no, it's a discount card. And they were like, don't try and pull something over on me, dude. Like, I work at Subway and it's been a long day. Like, I'm not taking this stupid fake
Come on,
card
man.
from you.
I've been slicing vegetables all day. I don't need your stuff.
I don't need it. I don't care. Alright, titles Moonpier. I thought you had just disappeared.
Oh, wow. No, I have a little bit because my stream decided to go a little bit roboty, but nothing too bad right now, he says.
Well,
okay,
I thought he just dropped.
Yeah, I did too.
I looked up and I was like, where is he?
He's gone.
I will be going downstairs and checking on wife to see if she's downloading anything in a moment. Okay, so what a handicap's supposed to do? Get all my stuffs, beat in a tree, hamana. So he's an F. Unkillable Ghosts, that's my rap name. The Loot Creep, carry the torch on the interwebs. Steelbook Ness, continue down the path of gaming hell. And my least favorite one, you are the product.
Yeah.
How did Middle Earth Batman not make it?
Oh, that's my first one.
Oh,
I have
okay.
Middle Earth Batman, There You Are, Beating a Tree, The Unkillable Ghosts, Backflashing.
Backflashing?
The Loot Creep, and Steelbook NES.
Can it please be Backflashing?
I'm okay with Backflashing as long as Moon is okay with people gently ribbing him for another week.
That's fine. Are you kidding me? I get ribs every week because of one thing or another. This is nothing.
True. Alright, starting in 3, 2... Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 522 for October 23rd, 2017. Backflashing.
Tell your parents.
Leaf through quantums.
This show is so dumb. Alright, thank you so much everyone for
yes.
watching for our last, almost 3 hours.
Did anyone check Urban Dictionary for backflashing if that's something horrendous?
Hold on,
that's a really good idea.
let's do that real quick. Urban Dictionary.
Colon audible on the show title.
There aren't any definitions for backflashing yet.
Oh, thank goodness.
Just Google it.
Oh my
the
God.
definition of backflash for Merriam-Webster: 1, of a gas to flash back and burn to the point where combustion is not intended. 2, a literary or dramatic work to introduce a flashback into the narrative. So
a backflash resulted in a flashback.
I guess.
I can only imagine backflash, everyone just whipping up the back of their shirts, just. That's the mental image I have. Everyone's backflashing.
Duffman says, when time freezes and your whole life flashes before your eyes. Backflash. Alright. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.